Welcome back, everyone, here to Chasing Tales. We're facing Dungeons & Dragons, and before we get to that, we've got a few orders of business. So, first off, welcome back. If you are here for the first time, thank you so much for coming. We are Chasing Tales. We are a UK-based TTRPG channel where we do a whole host of things, including Mini-Arc Mondays, where we play a variety of TTRPGs, one-shots, one-pages, and mini-arcs. We also play Dungeons & Dragons on Thursdays in the homebrew campaign and setting created by moi. So
that's today!
In just a few moments, we shall resume this current persistent campaign. On Sundays, we have the wonderful Cyberpunk Red campaign, which features the wonderful talents of our Prudence and Jordan, which you see before you today. Outside of that, we've got other one-shots coming. What? Crazy. Just follow us on Twitter if you want to hear about that. Information to come soon. Get excited. But for now, before we dive into today's episode of Chasing Tales, we need to have a show name, because I keep saying this is Chasing Tales, but this is a conversation.
Chasing Tales is a lot. I mean, Silver and Sea.
This show is called The Adventures of the Silver and Sea, and it has been for a good 6 months.
Yeah.
Before we pick up with this episode of The Adventures of the Silver and Sea, I know what we're doing. So before we get to that, I want to say a recurring thank you to our friends of the show and supporters, the Cognitive Merchant. Go and support them and look up and browse amongst their wonderful things of handmade leather and vegan leather, TTRPG accessories and LARP accessories, armor, wizard hats, dice cups, dice bags, dice trays, all kinds of wonderful, feeling handcrafted, beautiful things. Go check out their content, which you can all be found at their website, which is thecognitivemerchant.co.uk. That's thecognitivemerchant.co.uk. You can find the links to their Etsy and to their socials from there. Go do that. You should be doing that. Take the next few minutes of announcements to go and be doing that. Also, the tweeting in the background that you hear, kind of bringing the ambience to your ears, is actually provided.
It's me, social media managing.
On the Twitter, it is Meg social media managing. For now, it's actually, I believe it's Michael Ghelfi, provider of wonderful.
It's not. It's still Sword Coast Soundscapes. You never skipped it. You never skipped to Michael Ghelfi. I was like, I guess.
I saw
so
you
I
boop
cleared
it.
the queue and just left it running.
I saw you boop it up, and I was like, oh, she's changed it. Okay, cool.
No.
All right. And then for now at least, it is the Sword Coast Soundscapes. They have a wonderful library of soundscapes and ambience for your tabletop fantasy games. You can find them on YouTube, which is Sword Coast Soundscapes. They have a wonderful library of these sounds, which you just check out and use in your games. And they're kind enough to offer them for free usage across streaming platforms. So, props to you. And maybe later we'll see a similar brand of thing from Michael Ghelfi, another creator of wonderful sounds and ambience music and things. So, we hone in ever closer to resuming, but to bring us up to speed, for those of us who are new to the campaign or could use the reminder, the Soul Guard ventured through the Underdark to the plane of Earth to attain the heart of a Zaratan, a mighty Earth elemental, as it played an important part in the ritual plots of the evil Witch Queen Kaiser. It also happened to be, fortunately, a required component, something which could bring the gems required to resurrect their intermediate length of time lost friend, Maple. They battled through familiar foes of the Death Knight Isiko. They carved through the twisting, winding tunnels of the elemental plane of Earth and eventually conquered this mighty beast amongst the chaotic fray that it found itself caught in the midst of. They plane shifted to Naratos, the island occupied by the elves. They found themselves expected and reconvened with their friend Hope. They were taken to the High Chorus, a beautiful, twisted building of stone with branches that seemed to flex in the wind, again made of stone that seemed to hold this cathedral. And as a beautiful ritual was sung, a chorus came to life, led by the Sphinx Arch-Chorister, the spiritual leader of the elves, Naratos. This massive crystalline heart was consumed, and from it, Maple stepped out once more.
Yes.
Heart not beating? The Soul Guard took the rest of this day to relax, to come back together, to hold each other close, to walk through the elven forests and rivers. They found themselves with lodging up with their guide, fellow Ciel, an elf assigned to their to keeping an eye on, just showing you around should you need. Hot tubs were enjoyed in the sides of the rivers, and we pick up as you guys are all in this beautiful woven house of tree and stone, in this kind of large sleepover like chamber set with like bed rolls and cushions and bean bags. And as you all come to, waking up after this night's rest, the bird song picking up around you. For those who are new, let's have a little quick round of character introductions. So, let's start with Ashura.
God, sorry. I had the sound of the Roll20 coming in.
No, it's the rhythm.
It's the rhythm.
I
Okay.
was like, now's the perfect time to subtly swap to the Michael Ghelfi track that Andrew delightfully promoted but wasn't actually playing. And maybe it was a bad time, and I'm really sorry.
No. It was just...
Everyone adjust it, and then we can unserve and mute it.
Yeah, I'll just put it at like 50, 60.
70, 50 to 70 is
Okay.
right.
You tell me if you don't hear it. I mean, because I heard it a
It's
lot.
better than 200%, and then Andrew cues like
Oh.
cave drips, and we all get deafened. Right?
No, cave was good. Okay.
Okay, so alright.
That sounds good.
I've dropped it
That's
about
good.
14, that seems okay for me.
Yeah.
Adjust as you need. Is anyone in dire need, or are we good to continue?
I don't think I'm in dire
They're all good.
need.
Sorry for technical shit that I just caused.
Ooh, okay. So a few things just before to start. Description: Tal, redeem and hydrate, and Wilbo gave advantage to Rowan.
Thank you, Wilbo.
lovelies.
Wilbo said that he's in because I posted a thirst trap on Twitter. So
Is that the only reason why you come, Wilbo? God.
Can we blame?
Alex, my
They're unvalid.
captions aren't working.
Sorry.
My captions aren't working.
Oh no, your captions aren't working. I thought they were good.
No!
Okay.
I'll resend the link
okay.
just in case.
Cool.
Anyway, while that's going on, should we introduce our characters? I'm so
Yeah.
sorry for interrupting.
No, you're right. Cool. I'll just start quickly so like that I can do the caption afterwards. I am playing Ashura Takahashi, a drow, 11 level bard, 2 level paladin. He is bold, tons of scars, wearing extremely fancy clothes. Right now has like a crop top, half plate, dark black armor, some gauntlets of ogre powers, and a devil sword by his side. And yeah, you can usually see him with sunglasses on and smoking a pipe. That's it.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Megan.
Me?
Yes.
I'm never this far up. Hi. I am once again playing Maple. She is a gnome. She's 3'4", as she always has been. She now has... This is the first time I've done this, like, intro description of Maple.
That's right.
Oh, exciting times.
Weird. She now has dark, well, black hair, like curly hair, like shaved on the sides in like a thick braid down the middle of her head with a single streak of like her bright orange that she used to have. Currently she's just in like whatever clothes she was given because she came back to life last time and she was naked, so the elves were like, have some plain clothes, I guess. But it's okay, we'll sort that out this game.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, she has no equipment right now. That's the end of the description.
She is a barbarian. Does she really need it? Not really.
She doesn't need armor, but she needs like
No, you can punch
other
people.
stuff.
Might I recommend just punching everything?
Yeah.
But she also has like dark black sort of like lightning scars over most of her body. Yeah, and she still has her marigold tattoos on the sides of her head.
Hope. Prue.
Hello! Do you want to know what Hope looks like? Hey, Alex!
Yep.
Run
Yep.
track.
All right. Boom.
Is it down here?
That's smooth.
Andrew, we can't see you anymore. It's
So
It's
this
fine.
is some lovely art of Hope Summerhold done by my friend Amelia, who just very kindly did it on a whim during stream whilst like chilling out and listening, and it was so nice. And Amelia is so lovely. And guess what? Amelia's commissions are open. So
What?
go get these I think Amelia, I don't know how much the term classically trained applies to art, but Amelia is like classically trained in like cartoon, proper like comic book style art, and you can get these gorgeous like deep blacks and like beautiful colorway cartoon images from her, and they're also gorgeous. So please go give Amelia a follow. And basically, yes, this is what Hope looks like. Her skin is more, in reality, a brushed gold, but you can't represent gold in a picture very easily. But other than that, it's pretty much bang on. And she has little dragon scales onto her cheeks, that's what that is. And some dragon scales right under the bottom side of her jaw too. And she is an Aasimar that looks kind of like a half-elf, but is an Aasimar, who is a Sorlock. So 11 levels in Wild Magic Sorcerer, 2 levels in Hexblade Warlock. She used to be Celestial, and then the healing output of the party just got fucking ridiculously high, and I was like, well...
Yep.
I have a sword from my Warlock patrons, so why don't I give my soul to my Celestial Sword instead? And so we have Devil Sword Baby and Celestial Sword Baby hanging out on the top row today.
Me.
And that's me. I'm done.
All right.
Beautiful. Jordan.
Hello. Speaking of swords, I don't use any. Hi. I play Nute, who is a Duragar Way of the Sun Soul monk. As I said, doesn't have any weapons on him that you can see. Just goes around punching everything that he needs to. Generally wears quite loose-fitting clothing. His body covered in elven tattoos that can heat up on command. His hair, long, white, and usually pulled back into a ponytail, and a wiry beard with flecks of grass sewn in between as well. And he's just here for a good time. Just to chill on an elven island, you know?
Perfect. And lastly, but never leastly, Rowan.
That's me. Hello. I am playing Hemlock. She appears to be a half-orc, half-elf woman. Well, she appeared to be a half-orc, half-elf, like dark green skin, little tusks and pointed ears, long black hair in a braid, and big glasses to help her see, and a staff to help her walk. Although more recently, she's been growing mushrooms out of her face and her head and her legs and her ribs and her shoulders. I'm a pile of mushrooms now, but yeah.
You're very colourful.
I'm a very colourful pile of mushrooms. Yeah. Also, Jay has just redeemed a critical success for Maple.
Well, God. Okay.
Oh, yeah, Jay.
Rowan, don't forget your advantage by Wilbur, huh?
Oh yeah, yes, I will remember. Yeah. I keep
advantage
forgetting.
on character description.
If I have advantage on character description.
Character description.
You're a nat 20 and making Hemlock sound dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
Perfect. Well, in that case, as all of you alongside, you'll notice we are missing one of our number today. The one who David is not feeling too super, and so he's taking an evening to take care of himself. So our hearts are going up to you, David. We love you, and we'll see you soon. So yeah, he's not the most active on socials, but if you have any way of expressing love at him, you should do that because he's wonderful and deserves it. Markos himself, with his kind of tanned olive skin and short cropped dark hair, a solely beard, untrimmed for a while, or even more of a solid beard, slight scar across the eyebrow, is a human man from Maldron, wears very nice leather armor with a frilled collar and almost a mask that hangs low, as well as an elaborate shoulder pauldron of twisted wood that denotes his rank as a captain among the Royal Abigan Infantry Gun Scouts. Though his weapon is currently in the shop, and he holds a bow for now instead. No, he doesn't. He's just chilling.
He's got nothing left now.
But he's going to be rather quiet today and follows in awe and wonder, looking around the beautiful scenery of Narados.
And if he's attacked, he'll just throw rocks. I don't know.
Pretty much.
I just want a stealth roll for Markos, and it's like 3,000 or something.
Cool.
I think.
Perfect.
Yeah, worst
And
case scenario.
guys,
You can hide.
Markos does also have a sword. Like,
Yeah, he
every
does.
friend.
He does. He has like a short sword.
I really like the idea, right? Is what happened is Markos got up and was like, I'm gonna practice my stealth. And has like cast Pass Without a Trace just on himself. And had stealthed up, and he's here the whole game. He's here.
Just following
It's
us.
just got like a 40 on the stealth roll, so none of us know.
Like, I feel like 3 sessions ago he rolled a nat 20 on a stealth check. He got like a 37, and this is the repercussions of that.
Right.
This is the impact of that later on.
That's true.
Nevertheless, as you are all within this homestead of Thalosial, this elven cleric, to your knowledge, that has been tasked with guiding you wherever you should need to go. You awake within this homestead, in this large kind of open living room. The curtains kind of draw themselves, and warm greenish golden light flows inward. The morning is yours.
Was I drunk last night? I think I was. Okay. Yeah.
Good
yeah.
morning, Ashura!
Ah,
Bang, 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 clap,
Yeah.
clap, clap.
yeah. Okay. All right. You know. Fuck.
Or you
Okay.
could lay hands on yourself and probably get rid of that,
Yeah,
right?
but that's like I need to.
I don't have anything
I know.
that can cure disease
No,
or neutralize
no, I can
poison on
literally
me,
do
but,
that.
you know.
I can literally do that. But also, you know, it kind of like makes alcohol, like, you know, it kind of stops me from drinking too much. Otherwise, I'll just be drinking all the time. If I just
But
start
that's-
removing
That
hangover.
is a very worrying
You're
thing to say.
drunk
Let's
all the
put a
time?
pin in that for the next time you're back
Yeah.
to an AA meeting, okay?
Okay. Okay. Right. That's
Wait,
good.
If you can just cure get rid of the poison and disease, surely
Yeah.
that gets rid of just like all of the negative part of the alcohol.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you can
Fuck
drink
it.
more.
Yeah. Okay. Fuck it.
I think that's what he's
But
saying.
safely.
Spoken like a true dwarf.
You know what? You know what?
Look,
You make
I got
a
so
you make a
at
good
punching that
point.
Alcohol doesn't affect me anymore, so I just.
You don't even drink
I
alcohol,
cleanse the
okay?
toxins from myself.
Yeah. Ugh. Alright, wait, just a reminder, I don't know if I was just dreaming it. There was a sphinx that I ate yesterday, right?
Yeah, you asked her
Yeah.
on a date.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
the part I
terrible.
wasn't
You
sure
know,
about,
She's
yeah.
older. She's older than like the Titans. They even. I apologize, Sphinx. I'm sorry.
That's a big number. I'm not sure where it is, so I just, you know, like, I don't know how big, how old she is, so at this point I just
Sure,
kind
you
of
really
like,
have a thing for older people, don't you?
For a
Why-
gay man, you really have a thing for older femmes. I'm just putting it out there.
you know what, he's gonna put his sunglasses, he's just gonna be like, you know, maybe too much for this morning, I'm just, orange juice, okay, orange juice, okay, cool.
I will stop bullying you. I'm so sorry,
Yeah,
baby.
yeah, no. You do you for the morning. I'll just be here, not moving.
Oh. Alright. In the meantime, Nute will get up, poke Hemlock, and be like, hey, should we go sort out some tea for everybody?
Yes, yes, of course. I get up. I'm gonna make sure that all of like my clothes aren't stuck to my body, and I haven't grown into me anymore.
Your clothes are fine. I'm assuming you haven't been sleeping in the face-covering feather mask.
No, God no.
Yeah, cool. But as far as the rest of your clothes go, they're mostly fine. There, if you like, it seems. Make it very, very, very easy. Make a quick perception check for me.
Okay. Not even got my dice out yet.
No, no.
No one prepared.
And I am unprepared. I was too busy
Be honest.
admiring myself.
A vibe, to be honest.
Well, the real question is, are the mushrooms that grow on Hemlock hallucinogenic?
Have you stuck with any
Probably.
Hemlock mushrooms?
So do you wanna do you wanna get high on your girlfriend? Is that what you're trying to do? Like,
Oh. Like, you two are real freak of the week.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
You're immune to poison, so for you, no.
True.
Can I can literally get high on my own supply. I rolled a 28.
28. You notice as you kind of check yourself over, make sure your clothes aren't sticking as the mushrooms that kind of have been sprouting from your body begin to take their form. You notice that a good number of them, like the growth has slowed. They seem to have a good number of them have they have finished their initial forming, and so are less likely to like grow into and absorb the clothes that you're wearing. The mushroom hat is still growing though.
Okay.
The shaggy ink cat mushroom and like the veil with the slightly faintly blue glowing dots along the veil is still. It's a little bit wider than it was last night.
Is Hemlock eventually just gonna have like a big summer hat, like a fancy lady? Wide rim.
Spoiler alert, it's more gonna turn out looking like a witch's hat.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a witch hat. Yeah, I will get up and loosen all the clothes from the mushrooms, and yeah, I will start making a good morning tea for everybody.
Remind me, were we all sleeping in like the same room?
I was gonna ask, can we retcon that maybe Marigold and Maple did have like
Yeah.
a guest room and the rest of us crashed on the living room floor?
Maybe
That's
the one,
cute.
maybe
I
the
don't know,
one
these,
room.
like, lovely married couple who've been apart and like
Yeah.
gone through death to have to like not
Between
make out for a night. That is really
with like Ashura like completely out of his like starfishing on the floor and on
Ignoring away,
face.
just, like, romantic reunion.
yeah,
in the corner.
yeah.
Yeah, like so this household is actually empty aside from Felicial. There must like a winter lodge, like a winter lodge town in summer. There are people who live there, but it's not massively populated. In a similar way, this like there is a main house. There are some like smaller houses surrounding the place. You guys can absolutely have yourselves like a small, like holiday home sized space to yourselves.
Nice. I think once Maple and Marigold have like woken up and they're heading downstairs, Maple will probably bring the hammer with her. And like walk into the room and be like, this is a hammer now.
Okay. You.
Cool.
So how?
Hope has not seen this weapon before.
Yeah.
Stay out of this one.
But what did you do to it? I mean.
I had a dream,
Okay.
and then it changed in the middle of the night. I don't know.
Alcohol does weird things. I need to stop drinking.
No, I can see it too. Don't worry.
Okay. So you got so you got the dream, but
Yeah.
who was it? Just you in the dream? Like
No,
you
it
kind of like
was,
forged the hammer yourself?
No, there was like a big statue of Winnie, and then a really old guy, who I think used to own the axe.
Oh, we had a paper about that. About the story of the. I think it's in the bag. We can take it out.
Yeah. But anyway, he was like, "Oh, I hoped someone else would do good with this, but I guess you'll do." And then he was all like, "Aesthetics
That's
are."
rude.
Yeah, it's not
Sorry,
great.
rocking
It's
up
not
to someone else's
great.
street being like, "You'll do."
Yeah, just be like, hey, you know
Maple,
what?
I think you're great, sweetie. Don't
Yeah, I'm
listen
sure
to him.
if I had a hammer, Maple, I wouldn't give it to anyone else here, and I would just
Thank
give it to
you.
you. That's that's
But
my
then he
compliment.
was all like, "Hey, I know aesthetics are important," and then it like turned into the fist hammer,
That's
and then it did it in real life.
I would like to retract my statement. He actually sounds like a really cool guy.
As-
does sound-
he
he was-
is
he
also
was pretty
totally
cool.
right. Yeah, aesthetics are important. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not
Sure.
wrong. But
No,
yeah,
no, he isn't.
It's a hammer now, which is cool.
That's cool. I mean, the axe was also, you can chop, but this one I guess you can.
I think it probably does the same thing.
Yeah, is
I'm
it better?
I'm gonna test the thing, but I won't do it in this man's nice house.
Improvement. That's some great improvement, Maple. I mean, it's not like
I don't
before
wanna
you used to
piss people
break it.
off.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe you can go. We can go like outside. I feel like I hate the sun. Okay, we'll just go. Let's just have like maybe we should take the tea outside. What do we say? Yeah, Marigold. Maybe some. I'll just put a hat and we'll all go outside.
Yes, I think that would be lovely.
Right. I'll do that on purpose. By the way, there's a hydrate from Tal. Before I forget.
Of course there is.
Okay, so I'm guessing so Nute Hemlock, you made some tea?
Yeah, I'll put some
Yeah.
tea together
Oh, that's
for
so
everybody.
great. Thank you.
As Nute, you and Hemlock head out of this kind of sleeping space, you find Felicial, the cleric that was guiding you the day before, is awake. They appear to be sitting at a table within kind of the kitchen space, just writing on some parchment. They kind of nod and wave a morning's greeting to both of you and kind of show you to where the tea and stuff is.
I will offer them some tea as well.
They absolutely accept.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you so
That's the
much.
best.
You are all under my watch. Sounds like we're watching you. I'm here at your service. Please take all the time you need. If there's anything that you require of me, please don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Thank you for the tea. And he sits back down again and continues writing a letter.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So should we all head outside, get some fresh air, and find out what Maple wants to try out? Because I want to know.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good idea.
I also would like to find like a pack or something, just so I have some stuff. As nice as the elf clothes are, more clothes would be good. I think.
My do you mind what do you care about? Do you care about people seeing you naked, or do you care about the feeling of like having clothes on?
I mean, I don't necessarily care about people seeing me naked, but I
It's
also appreciate
in the
people who
meantime.
might not want to see me naked all the time.
All right, yeah.
Also,
'Cause
I might not need to wear armor, but like wearing clothes just.
I
kind of
understand.
works.
I was just saying. In the meantime, I can just put an illusion around you, and it just looks like you're not naked.
I'd
Oh,
rather just get
Yeah.
really? You should have led with that Ashura because
What?
I had
Yeah.
no idea what you were talking about.
Right. Okay. I feel like okay. You know what? This is fun to be a hangover, but I'm touching myself. I mean, I am putting
Look, there are
some
spare rooms in the side if you.
paladin healing on myself.
Sure, how you were ever a kind of spy that could use your whispers and your words to deal great vindictive damage to your enemies, I will never know.
I swear to God, we teleported to Narutos, and somehow in that teleportation, Ashura's foot got stuck in his fucking mouth. Because there it has remained.
I
since
swear
we
to
got
God,
it.
it's been 2 episodes. So fucking dumb. It's so fucking dumb. I can't stop it. Okay. I'll just not make myself. I will make myself not hangover anymore, and I'll just take a tea and sit down outside. That's it.
As you guys head outside, it is a sunny day. It is beautiful. You find yourselves in the foothills of like kind of darkish brownish red stone leading up into the Nemean Ridge to the east. You see kind of that sparse woodland kind of flowing down off these hills out into the valleys below, that same wide, slow river coming down and kind of crashing small waterfalls off to your right-hand side. It is sunlight, rushing water sounds, and birdsong. And it is, like, it's jarringly beautiful. Markos, like, takes a seat and just kind of admires the view for a bit. Felicial does come out and, like, takes a seat on, like, a swinging porch chair, like a porch bench, which kind of hangs off on one of the porches of the house, and does convey to you all that regarding basic equipment for you, Maple, there is a small outpost, a staging area where equipment is gathered and then distributed to like watch posts across the ridge, maybe half an hour, 45 minutes to the north. And so
Can you put us
whenever
on the
you
world
wish.
map and show us where we are? Sorry,
yes,
we didn't
sorry.
do it last time either, and I've been very confused about where we are this whole time because it's a big island.
It is, yes.
You just cool.
Nute's on
you are pretty much where Nute is.
One step ahead, baby.
Very funny.
You guys are just about like nestled in that green dot just there. Yeah, like, you can, if you head up into the hills for maybe like half an hour, 45 minutes, there is a small outpost where equipment is gathered. Basic equipment and standard clothing and things are available there, which you can just go and have and get given to you whenever you guys wish. Also, given that we're on the map for now, Hope, your mother is
My mother.
like a little purple dot. She is down in the Jade Garden. There's a little. It's not that easy to see. I'll put a little pink dot for Hope. Boop beep boop beep boop. She's down there in the Jade Garden. Yes. So yeah. So regarding kind of basic equipment and clothing, there is a place you can go where it can be kind of issued to you. But for now, you have tea, food if you desire, and a restful lie-in in morning.
Yay.
That sounds good. Can I have that in real life as well, please?
Yes.
Just like someone to make me tea and food.
A cook.
You want a
I mean, if you're
housemaid.
offering, Alex.
No.
Alright.
Is there anything you wish to do in this kind of drinking tea outside in the morning, or are you content to get traveling?
Well, wasn't there a thing that you wanted to do, Maple?
Yes.
Let's try. Yeah, I want to
Give
see.
me one moment. Yeah, so like if we can go outside to a space that's like relatively like open,
Yeah.
Maple wants to try doing the thing that she saw Dolor do in the dream, where he like shook the hammer to activate it. Yeah, she just wants to try and turn it on.
Yeah. As you put this hammer, this kind of, it was like it had the vision of like a beaten up axe. Now in its twisted form, as it curls into this kind of dark, steely grey fist with a flare of raven feathers out the trailing edge, it is now this intimidating warhammer. As you grasp it with your hands and you shake it with intent, a small green flame begins to crackle within the fist, looking out between the fingers and the ends of the hand.
Ah, nice. The guy did this in the dream, so I just wanted to check if there was a thing that it did. And
That's
it is,
cool.
apparently.
That's very cool.
Badass.
Oh, damn.
Hit something with it.
Sure. I guess I'll find just like a rock or something.
Yeah.
Something insignificant.
There are plenty of rocks on the side of a mountain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sure, I can hit something with it.
You strike a rock, and as the hammer collides with it, there is a green flame that curls around it and kind of seeps within a few of the cracks that split across its kind of dark brownish red surface.
Oh.
Nice.
Cool.
That's something.
It's a pretty fucking cool hammer.
Yeah, I don't know if there's other stuff that it can do, but
I mean,
I guess we'll find out.
there is a few stuff you can do on it. Well, I looked over it the first time we got it, so you can like teleport yourself and do stuff like that. We'll
Huh.
try it, I guess. Also, do you see any crows around?
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
have this weird thing on the side of my vision where I like feel like I see a raven every now and again, but I can't actually see them. Which is kind of fine.
It's not that bad. It sounds pretty annoying though.
Yeah,
It's not
I don't
selling
know.
your soul to a devil bad.
Yeah,
No,
true.
no. It's more like just it sounds like an annoying curse rather than just like a bad one, you know. Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna try that.
Hope's gonna go over to the rock and cast mending, cause like, yeah, it's still not nice to just beat up random rocks, right? That could have been a rock golem's favorite rock.
Sure.
It seals up a couple of the cracks across
D&D.
the main side. There's still like some like splits and like hairline fractures, but most of the chipping away is
Or
dealt
does
with.
it all go gold? Do I make a sexy rock?
On this particular rock, it does not explode into shivering gold, I'm afraid.
Ah,
Mabel, what are you doing with that?
So I guess I'm gonna just I'm gonna think about opening a portal or something and just like swing it.
Let's go.
Make a wisdom check.
Okay.
Ooh.
Maple's wisdom's pretty good now, actually.
Oh.
Not that it was bad at any point, but good now. Especially good. Yeah. That's gonna be a 22.
22. As you swing the hammer and you focus on that, the fraction that you know about it, about how it can open some kind of door or pull back some kind of curtain, and as you swing it forward, you feel it collide with something, but there's nothing there, and it just, as it swings through the air itself, you hear a cracking like glass, and for the briefest moment, you see the air itself fractions and pulls away, and you see beyond it just curling, swirling silver mist.
Ugh.
You stepping through it?
Yeah, go on then.
As you step through, the rest of you guys see Maple swing the hammer.
I'm doing it because I know what it is.
You see Maple like swing his hammer. The air itself seems to fracture and reveal this strange misty space beyond. And as she steps through, she vanishes from sight.
To go and find her again.
Yeah, she's dead again. Okay. Okay.
Maple, you
She
see,
just got back.
Ah,
you see
so
everything is
sad.
flying. You find yourself floating slightly.
Yeah.
The ground is kind of, your feet kind of drift and pass through the ground slightly. You see around yourself or your friends through that kind of misty, hazy kind of quality.
Yeah. Can I take my 6 seconds that is the round that I can be in the ethereal plane to walk up behind Ashura?
Absolutely.
Of course. Of course.
Queen.
Well, if she's
and
gone.
then when I reappear out of the ethereal plane, I just want to come out like yelling. I just want to be like, ah!
There is like almost soundlessly another splitting, like the kind of the hairline fractures across the glass within the air, and Maple, you push out of it and kind of almost like small fragments of like this kind of frozen air like drift off, like you've pushed through glass in zero gravity. It's like drifting away, but you land softly on your feet and come out yelling behind Ashura. Everyone, like Markos, like jumps and starts. Feliciel is still like swinging on his like rocking chair on the porch. Is like,
I'll go get myself more tea. Cool. Great. Fuck.
That's cool. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know where I
Pretty-
went, but I could
pretty
like
from
see
here.
everything.
Great.
Press the
Yeah.
digitate.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. That was pretty cool, but also it doesn't make sense anymore. 'Cause with the axe, it used to be like you cut through the plane, like it opens. Now you just
like you're knocking down a wall. Like
maybe it just kind of like it's like glass breaking.
and then you like build it really quickly again behind you.
Look, I'm just to say you can definitely punch through things like that. Like you don't just need an axe to cut down a tree. There's this very interesting scroll that I've read about called Minecraft, where you just go with your fists to take down trees in your sight.
Shit. I'm gonna go for that tea, and when I come back, we will go walk in the city. Okay? So this is
The hero Steve of the Minecraft scroll.
Every time we should go over to the dwarven halls of the Spine and see if they know about this Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Yeah, I don't know like where I went, but I could still see all of you. You just looked kind of different.
Oh, I know that. When I
Yeah.
had one of Grebo's mushrooms and I did that, and I was like
Yeah,
in a smoky place and I could see people.
yeah.
Damn, wow. And
Hemlock, Hope, or Ashura, you can make Arcana checks if you'd like.
let's go. I
Of
don't know where my
course.
dice are. Damn it! I forgot my die.
Oh, I fucking don't know why I rolled so many times.
Arcana, let's go. Boom. What did I roll?
Why is it double
Jesus.
rolling?
Why? Okay,
Dirty 20 for me.
28 for me.
That's like Raylan from the Dragon Prince, where we're watching it for study purposes.
28 for me.
Okay. Hope, which one of those answers is yours?
13, it's the first one.
Okay.
Yep.
You're vaguely familiar Hope, and the rest of you with the ethereal plane. It is the fabric between things. It is a place from where you can see invisible things. You can pass through material. Hemlock and Ashura, your knowledge of this extends a little bit beyond. With Ashura, with parts of your study back home, as some devils and fiends can slip between to get past certain defenses, you understand that the ethereal plane is a place from which not only can you pass through material things, but you can find your way through many planes through the ethereal plane. With the right travel and guidance and finding a way, you can travel between different planes, as well as see invisibility and travel through material objects. Hemlock, similar things have come to you, but in a more dreamy fashion. You're not quite sure where this knowledge comes from, but as you try and think about these aspects and the mushroom that you ate, it's almost like you're recalling on memories that aren't yours. But yeah,
That's
Cool.
pretty cool. Hydrate, by the way.
Nope.
Alright, so I guess you can just, while you're in that smoky place, if that's like the ethereal plane, you can just go through anything that is material. So like if there's a wall in front of you, you go.
Nice.
I mean, yeah, pretty cool.
That kind of
I
sounds
think
like
I only had like a certain amount of time though. Like after a few seconds, it kind of felt like I was being like pushed back out. You know.
Alright. So like for 6 seconds you can run, or whatever amount of time that is.
However many vague seconds that we don't count in the real world, because why would we do that?
Nope. Every action it's weird. In this world, every action takes 6 seconds. Whatever you do.
All of them.
Most
Everything
of them.
you do.
Or 10 minutes. There's really no in between.
unless you're an action search.
Yeah. Where you just it's just like you do fast forward on the camera.
Or
just goes way
cunning
faster.
action.
Yeah.
Then some things only take 3 seconds.
Weirdly enough. Well, that's
Bring
pretty
you guys
cool.
some fresh fruit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Oh shit, guys, wait. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What day is it?
28th?
What day is it?
27th?
28th?
We were the 27th.
No,
It's
it's
the-
the 27th of
27th.
Alistaine, I believe.
It's the 28th.
It is. Is it 28th?
Yeah,
I
I have
Is
it written down. Yeah.
I can't remember.
Alexander Sai, was
day-
right about a
the
date.
day that we got to the Zaratan was the 27th.
Right,
Oh,
that's
I
it, yeah.
thought it was the 26th. That's why I fucked up. Sorry. I'm not good at the game. That's why I don't.
It's okay. In that case, I have speaking of fruit, I have a really important question. Hope,
Yes.
it's almost, what's the next month? Guess end.
Guess end.
What's the fruit?
Soraya grows really nice blueberries in her garden, and I don't want to do blueberries again, but I kind of do.
I mean, you can do blueberries again. It's your fruit calendar.
Well, you know, I'll see. I forgot to ask her about her fruit trees. I'll see what she's got, and I'll be sure to let you know.
I don't know. I just think it's nice to have a fruit theme.
Yeah, it's been strange.
Claire
Not
was just
having
sitting there the entire time, just waiting.
It's holding.
We've got tomatoes and olives. Olives aren't really fruit. I think
No.
we've got apples.
Apples.
Apples are
It is
good.
the last day of Elisan, so we could have apples.
Okay, well, here you go. And he puts them in the platter, like in like.
I feel like he's looking at us like, okay,
Sure.
you guys are a little weird.
Papaya
Oh.
too, whatever you want.
Really, you're on your own schedule. If there's anything I can do, please do let me know. You know that to the north, I can take you there if you wish. There is a small outpost where you can rearm and refit Maple, should you wish.
Yeah.
Or a journey almost directly south will take you toward the Jade Garden, from which I'm sure it'll be very easy to find Lady Colonel Ram.
There's a very quick question. Are there any sort of shops or vendors around here that we can visit?
So much as a specific vendor, not so much. If there's something you require in specific, then we can inquire as to who might have that, who might procure such things, and you can arrange to go there and either barter, trade, or purchase. It's really quite jarring for those of you who haven't been here before. Life here is quite slow. There's absolutely an air of taking our time about all things, which is why for most of us it's quite normal to walk for hours and hours every day just to get to wherever we're going. So if there's something you desire, please don't hesitate to ask. We can think about where we can go to find that.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I would be up with Nute. I'm also looking for anyone that is, has some expertise in enchantment, which would be very interesting too. If you know anyone, Oren.
Yes, and there's a good number of talented arcanists. Several of the heads of family across Nautos are very skilled arcanists. Many others move around the island and train and practice under different teachers. To my knowledge, I was informed last night, Lady Hope, your mother, Colonna, is currently training in the Jade Garden, but the matriarch of her teacher is a skilled arcanist in their own right. They're a very revered individual. The Ashura of scans for the family name. Yeah, there is.
It's a very long family name.
It is, yeah. Fiestra Nute. They're a talented arcanist and druid, and if you have any questions of the arcane, I'm certain that they should be able to assist. I shall put the name in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you. I was gonna ask. All right. Fiestra, I was close by. Not at all. All right. Well, I mean, hope we can definitely, go see your mom, and on the way. I mean, I'm good if whenever you need to go see your mom, I'll go with you. Because I guess I'll go see this teacher of hers.
Yeah.
Would like to come?
Just very quickly, do you know of anyone? I've heard sort of talk of magical tattoos, kind of similar to these, and people like show the ones that he currently has.
Are you looking for more, or?
Yes.
I'm afraid they're not overly common. Mundane tattoos are fairly common, and he kind of pulls up his sleeve, and you see kind of spiraling, almost like elemental iconography, kind of like curls around the inside of his arm and down to his elbow. Mundane tattoos are fairly common. It's a skill that is some choose to pick up on their travels. As far as arcane tattoos, they're relatively rare. I'm afraid I'm not familiar myself with anyone of that particular skill set. But ask around on our travels, and I'm sure you'll find someone.
Alrighty, thank you.
One last thing. You wouldn't happen to be able to point me in the direction of a library, I suppose?
A library?
Or place of research, anything?
Much research is done within households as points of individual interest, and then is shared when relevant. There is an archive beneath the High Chorus, the cathedral in which one of the people here was brought back to us. So that which you searched might reside beneath there. Yeah.
Would I be allowed in there?
It depends what you're looking for. You are guests of the High Chorister, a fact which carries a good deal of weight here. And although at a glance you may not gather complete trust from every member here of Nautos, with a little explanation, you should be able to access most things, as you are trusted by Volante.
Good to know, thank you.
Hemlock, if whenever you go to the library, and I'd love to go with you, I have some few things I want to check out.
Yes, I would love to stop by there and then head with you. Hope to see your mum and
Yeah.
the Jade Gardens if we can make a detour. Stop by the library.
I mean, I literally, yes. Libraries, they're my whole thing. Let's go. That
Yes.
sounds fantastic. That sounds like the best day out I could imagine. A
Mom
library,
and books.
And then hanging out with my friends, and Maple's alive, and then we go see my mom. Like, that bit's gonna be shit. I don't know how that's gonna go.
Right,
I've not
yeah.
seen her in a while, but it's probably gonna be fine.
It's.
If memory serves me correctly, she's a lovely woman.
When was the last time you saw her?
12 years ago now?
How old are you, Hope?
23.
Okay.
Ashura, you were at my birthday party. Remember big explosion?
Yeah.
Dragon.
I'm very sorry
remember, I
about
remember.
that. I'm still very
Casey,
sorry
Casey,
about
I
that.
remember,
it's
yeah.
fine. At least it's a good story to tell at future parties.
Why do I feel like every NPC who listens to our conversations is like, who the fuck are you?
So much.
My birthday party with the dragon, and everyone's like,
Oh yeah, we probably shouldn't be saying that completely out loud, right?
No, but they don't know. We didn't say.
We didn't say a green dragon.
No.
It was a dragon.
You just said it. Oh God, no.
That wasn't in character.
I know. That would have been funny.
Yes.
Look at the face of Andrew. Orin is like with a dagger out, like.
there's that
Okay.
eating grin that Andrew's got on.
Yeah.
A fireball and a dragon, like, that doesn't mean
That doesn't
shit,
mean
Dan.
anything,
Like,
yeah.
that's what my mouth
We
said.
killed everyone
I'm
far,
saying
okay, it could
I
be
said
anyone.
It in canon, it's fine.
Yeah.
No qualms, no regrets.
The one elf that is there hasn't exploded in indignance yet. So
Yeah.
But yes, library. Do what we need to do. Walk to the Jade Gardens.
Well, what do we need to do? Why do you want to go to the library?
Yep. Go ahead, Hemlock.
Well, I was just thinking. There's been a lot of stuff that I've been trying to read up on that they don't really have access to books of in Abigail, and if there's going to be anywhere to have a look up at, it's going to be here. And I mean, I want to.
Sorts of things.
I keep meaning to have a look up of stuff about, the demonology and
You
a
know,
few
there's
other
the whole Arcadian.
I know, but we've
visit
been
me in Adigan sometime. I really have been doing a lot of research.
we've been very busy over the past 5 days.
Yeah.
so-
Yeah.
No, this is a wonderful place to start. I just don't want you
Yes.
thinking, oh no, Adigan, there's nothing. There's lots.
No,
We
not
weren't
at all.
allowed access to it, of course, but we now have entire swathes of scrolls and books and
Yeah.
all sorts of things about all sorts of topics. And believe me, there's
Yes.
plenty to learn about demons, and I mean,
Yes.
also.
By the way,
Have you
Hope.
ever spoken to Cathala about any of this, Hemlock?
It's
You should! She is delightful conversation. She is scary as fuck, but she is very, very delightful.
I will
And she
take
knows a lot about demons, like a
I
lot.
will take your word for it, but yes, at least starting here feels like a good place to start. And also, I mean, I'm part elf, I think, and I don't know anything about any of this.
I would confidently say you are part elf.
I don't know anything about any of this, and I feel like being here would be a good place to start to learn a few more things. My dad never really spoke about, what he did before
There's always
before
a
he was
chance
my
to pass
dad.
on here. This isn't.
Oh,
the
no, of
crazy
course.
whole elf life, but
Yeah.
absolutely, I want to get stuck in too. I mean, I've been raised 23 years with just one elf, hanging out for only half of those, and so it's really exciting to be here. I agree with you.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure, why did you want to go to the library? I don't think I've forgotten.
No, I need to. Well, we had a small talk when we were in the Underdark, in the Hokuri territory, about Lady Kai. I like to read a bit on the situation and the history between.
You just kind of gonna telepathically into Ashura's head, just like, be careful with your words right now.
Yep.
But that's what it's like, For general awareness, Celestial is not like standing over you listening. He like chopped off the fruit. He's like gone back to his rocking chair. Like he's not spying on you. Like you can speak and be confident that you can speak privately.
This.
Yeah.
When
No,
I
it's still
told you months ago that she was a genocidal bitch,
yeah.
you are
it's-
aware that comes from scores of years of generational trauma, right?
No, obviously it wasn't. It's that it takes time for you to acknowledge. It took me time, at least, for me to acknowledge that the person who I owned a lot to might be evil, and
Not it might.
There's no
I
might
would
about
have
The-
far
my-
more
Yeah.
aunts, uncles, cousins,
yes,
maybe even siblings
no,
if
yeah,
she didn't do the things she did, okay?
of course. I'm just saying.
I understand where you're coming from, Ashura. With
I just need to
similar
hear it.
backgrounds, I have to hope if you need to be the one to see it rather than hear it, then
Yeah.
that's what it takes.
It's not a hope that I don't trust your word or everyone else. I need to hear it from other people. I need to see it. I need to hear it. I need to learn about it. I need to wrap my mind around the idea. So fun.
Okay. And Maple, Nute, Markos, I know you're not the most inclined to books, but
You can go look around for like a tattoo artist.
Yeah, we could do that. Obviously, I want to hop over to the place to grab some gear and stuff.
That sounds good.
But other than that, I'm down to do whatever, pretty much.
if you're heading that way, Maple, would you be able to maybe grab me a slightly looser fitting shirt, just in case?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'd appreciate it.
Oren,
Fine.
did you say next to the shop there was some? You didn't talk about some magical shop, right?
The elf looks up. Felosial is the name. Comes back over toward you. There's no. It's not a shop. It's just a staging outpost where basic equipment can be distributed from. If there's anything arcane there, it's most likely in use. If it's you guys have all been to the chorus now, and you are recognised there. If, say, Lady Hope, Lady Hemlock, if the rest of you want to head toward the library, I can guide those of you that wish to go to this outpost while you begin to read. If there's no, if you aren't particularly inclined to research yourselves, you can complete your reading. Maple, you can gather the equipment that you require, and then we can find our way and reconvene at the chorus.
Yeah, so we can chorus in a few hours. That sounds lovely.
Perfect. I'll just grab a couple of things, and when you're ready, we can begin our journey north, and if the rest of you are comfortable, to begin your journey south.
Sounds good to me.
That sounds like a
Wonderful.
good plan. That sounds like a good plan.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Belisal goes back inside and kind of just puts on a slightly thicker kind of overcloak. Remains barefoot this whole time. Gets their scabbarded sword along their hip.
Lucia, that's it.
Allows you all time to gather your equipment, that which you have, and let's go with the North Squad first. As those of you that are heading down toward the library begin to trace those familiar steps down this set of foothills, you pass those familiar sparse trees, the scent of fresh pine, and that wonderful smell of like just cresting into winter in pine woodland. And it's beautiful and calming. For those of you that are heading north, who all is going to this outpost for equipment?
And
I am.
Markos.
Maple, Nute, and
Markos?
Oh,
Yeah.
Markos as well. Yeah.
Cool. Perfect. You find your way heading up these foothills. There are some ups and some downs. You pass a wonderful lake that seems to spread as you begin climbing up these small inclines that rapidly shift into quite a significant climb. You're occasionally there taking breaks at the side where small kind of outcroppings give you that space to do so. Pass on your water bottles to stay hydrated as the sun is, despite it cresting toward winter, as you climb the mountains and the sun remains beating down upon you, it is still warm. You see off in the distance, above you, a very faint moving shape that seems to drift between the peaks of the ridges and mountains above you. You see a large bird. Beautiful wide wings, massive in size, just a little bit further up another one passes overhead. As you continue moving, you see like the final kind of, as like foothills up, you go up and up and up, and then there's like that final main ascent to the actual heart of the range itself. You get just toward there and you find a very squat, small building. I need to just cut all of your access to the Roll20 chat.
Alex, I'm so disappointed in you.
I'm sorry. We're just.
Stop it!
Stop it!
It's Prue and I. I'm sorry. It's Prue and I. We'll just sense whispers now. I'm sorry. So you said a squatting house, Hendra.
A squatting house.
A squat house.
I know.
A small
like Baba Yaga's hut.
Yeah, exactly. 2 legs out. Just the Slavic squat.
Squatting hut.
I know. Alright, go
As
ahead.
you get closer, you see there's a small section on one side where it looks like a small stable is set out. You see pathways that lead in several directions, kind of spanning out across the mountain range, some going straight up, some further to the left. You see a small section of perches and a large basin of water and a large, I say large, I mean 8-foot tall owl. Massive talons hooked around this tree trunk sized perch. Just wings tucked behind,
Andrew's
drinking from it.
self-insert.
Another one!
It's Andrew's persona.
Oh my god.
Feather Sona. This gigantic owl, kind of dappled spots along the feathers, kind of a creamish colour coming to a soft brown at the shoulders, kind of just drinking from this water, kind of leans up, its large head swivels towards you, its large kind of amber brown eyes kind of lock with all of yours, tilts to the side and continues drinking.
I don't think Willow has ever been scared of an owl before now.
You should. This thing
Yeah.
is absolutely his natural predator.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Willow's
large, the large owl doesn't make any particular motion towards him, but you're right. Willow does kind of big thing avec talons. And eventually you get to the entryway and you head within, and it's essentially a large storeroom. It is a warehouse where stuff is kind of deposited and then distributed across watchtowers and outposts further along the mountains. There are several elves there coming and going, either gathering a small case of short swords or whetstones, fresh clothing, soap, rations, loading them into packs. And as they do so, a half-elven man approaches all of you. They have dark hair of kind of chestnut brown, olive skin. They have a very kind of tightly groomed beard. Their attire is notably different, however. The rest of the elves you see are clad in kind of soft, light grey cloaks, leather armor that has a similar kind of lightish grey coloration, is starkly designed as camouflage among the higher, stonier peaks of the mountain range. This half-elf, however, wears a cloak of dark green. You see kind of mottled leaves seem to kind of appear and vanish from its surface. The leather armor is of a similar lightish grey, except comes to a darker steel breastplate in the center. And the most familiar and notable part, on their left shoulder, a sprouting pauldron of dark, twisted wood.
Nice.
Oh.
That's pretty cool.
Well, good morning. Welcome all your notices Philosel is there. They give him a nod, and Philosel introduces you. These are guests of the High Chorister to be outfitted with whatever they require. Perfect. Welcome. My name is Mithansal. What is it that I can do for you?
Does he like clock Markos?
He absolutely does, and Markos clocks him as well.
Little pauldron buddies.
Does he clock Markos in his stealth?
What Markos' self was too high. Doesn't notice Markos.
I don't know why. I just imagined Markos like crouching in the back, like completely.
It's just a Skyrim sneak where he's just like crouched next to us.
No. He's in the middle of the shop, just rolling a dice. Say 37. You can't see me now. Right there.
I do anticipate that Markos would like to have a more protracted conversation with Mithansal, but that is something that David and I can sort between games. For now, if that conversation would happen, it'll happen off to one side. As for the rest of you, however, he kind of turns towards you, kind of runs his fingers through his dark brown hair. What is it that you need?
I think I just kind of need like a basic, traveling pack. You know what I mean? I just got brought back to life and I have literally nothing, so.
Right.
Basics.
Okay,
if
well,
you will.
You have the big hammer.
Maybe they have
I
a
do.
pack or something just all in one pack, just for those sort of occasions.
Well, yes, we certainly have simple packs of. Yes, come this way, and he shows you, and this is a military storehouse. Bags full of traveling stuff and equipment is that's their shit. That's all they have. And so you are given a kind of a very soft brown leather rucksack, which has it's an explorer's pack. You can just add your basic defaults, your rope, your bed rolls, your bits and your bobs. Clothing is also available. There is it's all the same. It's all that kind of loose fitting trousers and tunics and belts. No shoes. It's all very much like when you see Frodo in the Elven Kingdoms and stuff. He's draped in the soft, nice elven clothing. It's very much that kind of aesthetic. Sure. As you start getting dressed, all this stuff, you will find Maple in your simple tunic with your rucksack on and your big hammer.
Let's be honest, guys. Maple's gonna rip all these sleeves off when we get home.
Oh hell yeah!
Nice.
Damn. Just reflexing.
Yeah.
You do find even though you are a gnome, they have smaller sizes and stuff. They do a little bit of tailoring on a number of them to make them fit you. And even still, your arms are your arms fill the sleeves.
So buff. It feels so good to have my 50 feet of hempen rope back in my foot.
Finally. Soft rope returns.
Soft rope. She will also grab a couple daggers if she can.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool.
Essentially, if it's mundane equipment, you can grab it in this space.
Nice.
Hooded lanterns, caltrops, climbing pittons. If it's basic equipment, you have access to it here. And the same goes for you, Nute. And Markos doesn't have anything, so he'll grab a short.
I think
Markos
does have a normal bow.
Okay.
He's just using the Soul Zephyr while Maple was dead.
Okay, cool. Any basic fighting or adventuring equipment that you might like? It's easier to grab that larger shirt for Hemlock.
Oh yes, of course.
Yes. So if we're looking at basic adventuring.
We should grab another rope because Markos lost his in the Gordark.
Oh yes, true.
Oh yes, I did.
Grab more rope for Markos.
Perfect.
But I think other than that, I don't. Would an army barracks have thieves' tools?
In this one, no.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
It's this is for outfitting outposts and scouting parties, and they don't do an awful lot of lock picking. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna say yes And that is specifically because I think a thieves' tools doubles up a little bit in terms of like disarming traps and stuff.
True.
Yeah, I think scouting
Makes sense.
parties going into enemy territory would take with them the right tools to counteract booby traps and stuff. So I'll say yes.
Nice.
Now, Andrew, just checking real quick. If I look on D&D Beyond, a grenade launcher and fragmentation grenade are listed under adventure gear.
They do have 3 frag grenades.
An AK-47 and
Get
7.
some frags in here.
I do notice that there is like a
You just get
locked,
strapped.
there is a locked and guarded like cage, like small room, which is just a cage within this space that does seem to have a store of much finer weapons and things, like an individual bow in a singular case, and like a nice long sword that is like in a locked case of its own, like all taped to the walls.
Special items.
Yeah, they do seem to have like a small locker of more valuable things.
I feel like we probably don't want to take those if they're outfitting us for free.
Yeah,
I feel
probably
like
not.
that's mean.
They don't offer them to you. I mean,
I was gonna
just
say.
like general description, there within this space they do have like a small selection of things available, not available, present. But yeah, is there anything else that you guys wish to ask, to talk about, to attain while you're in this space, or are you content to strap up, get dressed, and make your way back?
Yeah, I think I'm fine.
I think Nute's good. Joey doesn't need much.
Perfect. Then I suppose as you guys are all getting
Maple
changed and
has
stuff.
needed his basic gear.
Yeah.
And at this point, she doesn't need armor.
No.
I have 5 levels in barbarian. I don't need your leather armor.
Well then, as you guys are, Maple, you're getting dressed, and Nute, you're grabbing the shirt and stuff for Hemlock. Mithansel and Markos, I'm sure, will have a small chat of their own off one space. There is a look of understanding between them as you all kind of are waved off. The owl almost soundlessly vanishes as one of the elves there gets astride a saddle on their back and like lowers a pair of goggles across their eyes and just off into the sky.
Oh, one quick thing. Nute will quickly ask around about the magical tattoos here as well, just in case. Anything's been
Magical-
covered.
A couple of people that you ask here are vaguely aware of them. They do not have any. They appear to be genuinely quite rare things. They're like, oh, where did you get those, kind of thing. They're like, the second you present your own, they seem to ask you about yours more than they can answer about anything else.
Fair.
Just
People
a
chat to them
little,
and tell them. Oh, sorry, Maggie.
just a little thing from the chat. We're also gonna grab Hope a breastplate, like a leather armor breastplate
Perfect.
thingy.
Yes.
Not leather, no. An ordinary breastplate, please.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Alright, cool.
I can wear medium armor because I'm a hexblade.
Oh, yeah, Hexblade.
And I gave my elven chain to someone. One of you has it. I don't know. I don't...
Marigold has it.
Yeah, so she can keep it. I'll wear a breastplate. It's the same AC. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's
Really nice
slightly clashes with the color palette. It does have that kind of
No,
lightish gray.
No, can it just not? Please, please, please. Can it just be a silvery gold color, please? Please.
Fine.
Wait, doesn't matter. I'll prestidigitate it.
I was gonna say.
So many times that it stays. It's fine.
I can just
Sure.
I can just make the major image it
You know
just
what?
around.
Yes. You luckily find the one, and it's like this. The reason this one hasn't been taken and distributed is because it's a different make. It's an older make that has the wrong color palette for the current
And it's
current
like
uniform.
high femme, and the elves are not about like gendering themselves. Got pink marabou rough, you know.
We're like, we put the titty armor on this one. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Oh dear. You find that particular.
This one has anime boob cups. Damn it.
Yes, sure. Perfect. So, as the rest of you depart this space, Markos points out to you, kind of on your far off in the distance, not quite on the horizon, but not far off it somewhere, you see a streak of like reddish orange, like a beam of it goes
Ooh.
like a firework that travels from the ground and just fires off into the sky.
You do.
It's like you point it out, and it's far too far away to impact you. You don't hear any sound alongside it, but it's pointed out.
Interesting.
And you guys begin your journey back. As you guys do so, library gang, you easily enough and in the beautiful sunshine make your way down these foothills back toward the high chorus, this building that seems to burst out from the top of this rock lodged between kind of the split in this large slow moving river. Its kind of stony branches being sung into drifting like wood on the breeze. You are allowed within the archive, a staircase that comes away from this main kind of foyer chamber that looks on, and you can see the cathedral-like pews and stained glass birds that have been replenished, flitting through the space. And you are allowed and led down by an elf named... Do I have...
Jacob.
On my notes.
His name is Jacob.
His name is Chris.
Chris, the elf that works at the library.
Chris the elf.
Philander away.
Elf named Gildenbray. They seem to be in that kind of that elven age space where they could be 100, they could be 300, but they kind of nod, recognizing you all from the day before, and they guide you almost wordlessly down a spiraling staircase into what opens out into a beautiful library. It is quite small. It is much smaller than the adamantine bind in Adigan. But it is well lit with small kind of floating globules of golden light that seem to kind of float and almost patrol through the aisles. What would you like to search for?
You go first, Hemlock. Go ahead.
Yeah, I am gonna be like looking specifically for things about fungal demonology. But if I find anything particularly cool about like elf history that catches my eye, I'll pick that up as well. But specifically, the fungal demonology is what I'm looking for.
But,
the librarian is just so weirded out now. It's like Okay,
What?
sure. I didn't know that was a thing. Okay, fungal
Ready? While
demonology.
you're searching for tomes on that, Ashura, what are you looking for?
History of Narutos and its relationship, like all the history since Kithel and Zara came onto the island,
Alrighty,
and like all the thing
Sure.
between, just the relationship between the two and the conflict.
Okay. And Hope, anything in particular, or are you just aiding?
I'll say you're in arcade magic, basically. Not beginners 101 guides. I'm looking for, like, specifically Astreva the Bloodborne and her gifts of magic and how those
Alrighty.
could go.
How they
In that case, could you all roll investigation checks for me?
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna say investigation, history, or arcana, your choice. They kind of apply in all those ways, so whichever one of those that you like.
Marigold is gonna help Hemi.
Then with advantage or not.
That's for Julie's stuff.
Hydrate, by the way, people.
Okay, fine.
I rolled a 26.
Ah.
Thank you for the advantage, because the other roll was like a 9.
So I hope your best friend describing eons of generational trauma is somehow resolved by you getting a 30, bitch.
Oh god.
Alright. And that's a 24 for Hope? Perfect. Then, Hemlock, as you, with the assistance of Marigold and Gildenbray, this elven cleric, kind of points you in the odd spaces, you don't find anything that is immediately demonic. Unsurprisingly, perhaps, within this temple to Erlen, there is not, horrific bindings of demons.
Yeah.
What you do find, however, are ancient tomes which delve into the history of the island. That is Narutos, that was once a Tyrannima, a mighty animated section of the earth come to bestial life to fight the Titans, and how it once fought, was petrified, died, and settled here. And it goes into how that then became the island, and how life sprung up upon it, how the elves that so long ago were a population far to the north ended up settling here, and how beneath it and within it sprung the Gordark. And it delves into many aspects of the Gordark that you are both familiar with and not. Aspects of it that somehow remain perpetually rotting, even though all life should by far and away have vanished from that place or decayed away. It seems to continually decay. You find texts which talk about familiar areas of fungal growth and life and how myconids come to exist in the spaces within, where fungal spores of just natural, simplistic nature arise in these spaces, and that kind of resonant, animating energy makes them into sentient creatures. Delving within that ever so slightly, you find that in different areas of the Gordark, occasionally different entities from different planes try to find influence. From many aspects. Most noticeably and most damagingly are those of Pandemonium and the Abyss. Pandemonium kind of dives into a separate thing, into a realm of twisting madness that is ever fluid, and how it borders onto the Abyss itself. A place of chaos, of consumption, of endless, utterly unstable growth, and how that has similarities with the Gordark. You don't find anything in particular about whether or not myconids are all evil, but you do see once again the name Zugtmoy, an entity from the Abyss that has this affinity for fungal creatures that seems to potentially threaten corruption, which it kind of in this book hypothesizes that should a large myconid grove become corrupted by this particular entity, the various levels of calamity that could arise.
Okay. In all that research, and kind of specifically the looking at the sections like about mushrooms and fungal like things forming sentient life, are there any descriptions of beings similar to myself? Of the way of like starting out, you know, as regular folks and then growing into what I've turned out to be?
In this tome, almost. You find elements of which mention spore servants. One of the defense mechanisms and kind of factors of myconid is that they sometimes take creatures that have like the bodies of creatures and use fungal spores to essentially resurrect them as servants to their strange hive mind consciousness. You don't find anything that talks about necessarily something that is changed but retains sentience and consciousness.
Good to know. Yep, cool. I think once I kind of like gone through all of the books, I'm going to like, in the guise of walking back and putting them on the shelves, I'd like to kind of walk nearby to Ashura and then just telepathically, not looking at him, still kind of like putting the books away, but telepathically say into his mind, I think I need to talk to Kithala. I don't want her to hear me right now, but at some point I think I need to speak to her. And still kind of putting books back on the shelf and making it look like nothing's happening.
All right, okay, he's doodling on a page, waiting for his book to come. Okay, sure, no worries. That can be done.
Telepathically.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
I answer telepathically. I mean, not that I can, but I can answer it to you.
You can answer me, yeah.
Yeah.
Hope, as you look into tomes on Astea and the Arcane, there is shitloads. This is the library under a temple of Erelen, one of whom's not children, but kind of children, in the way that, you know, deific entities don't necessarily reproduce it's like 1 + 2 bang product. But almost the creation of Erelen, the Elven Bloodborn, and Zorthena, the first of the dragons. Together they created Astea, the first of the Dragonborn. And this entity, Astea, this first draconic humanoid, possessed the fiendish is the wrong word, but in the immense intelligence of both of their ancestors, of Erlen and Zorthena. They took a curiosity into the weave and the arcane and how natural and divine magic all plucked at this force that seemed to exist around them. And many Bloodborne have this curiosity, but none managed to uncover its secrets and its powers and its possibilities like Astea did. And as this Astea began to delve into this across their life, they had children. Of themselves, the Dragonborn began to become a race, and both these Dragonborn and also others that were drawn by this curiosity of the arcane began to worship Astea. And this went on for a period of time in the prehistory such that numbers matter not. And as arcane study began to develop into not just what is it, but into what can it do. You find passages that talk of an ancient civilization where mages began to twist the arcane into weapons, into energies of destruction. And it talks of a time where Astea took almost all of the knowledge away, took every tome written of these secrets, and brought it together into a single library that she shrouded in magic to keep it secret and hidden, where they pulled it away to the Silver Sea itself into a tower that stands alone in an ocean. And Astea remains here, in a similar way to how the Bloodborne remain on the Silver Sea to shepherd souls. Astea remains there to protect secrets that must not be known and to nurture knowledge that should be known. It talks about how they are worshipped today as a figure of both peace and of knowledge and of science and of discovery and of measuring that. And those that often worship her directly do so in hope that they not be taken by temptation of what the arcane can achieve. Ashura.
Thank you.
Hello.
Awesome.
So, yeah. I rolled a 30.
You did. There is plenty of history. There are chronicles detailing every day since Cathalanzara arrived. And it's a rough read. You've heard a lot of these aspects of this history already. But kind of unfortunately you find a very beautifully illustrated book. Where
Right.
it is more of a diary. It is a event by event telling of someone that experienced it and the artwork that they produced to convey it. And it tells of how the cities to the east were invaded in the night by just ship after ship after ship of hobgoblins and trolls and bugbears that stormed through the streets out of nowhere. And after about a day, as the elves of the rest of the island began to bring together reinforcements to try and fend this off, they were caught as they traveled along this thin stretch at the center of the island. Cathalanzara swept down from the skies, showing herself for the first time, and almost in a single day annihilated the gathered forces that came to fend off this invasion of hobgoblins and soldiers. They were not prepared for a dragon of her might and power to descend as they were in their marching rows across the roads. In the weeks that followed, the elves that had escaped ran like prey. They were chased down by the hobgoblins and the goblins and the wargs and their beasts of war, like a wild boar is hunted for sport. And strangely, Cathalanzara didn't attend many more of these battles. She turned the ruins of an elven city at the top of the mountain that became the Caustic Caldera into her nest. And she instructed her armies to take root, to settle. And she allowed them to do so, letting them chase and sail after the elves that fled to the sea, letting them continue an ongoing war that alone the hobgoblins probably can't win against the elves that have now fortified the west. And there are many kind of like annotations across the sides of like many moments in battles where if Cathalanzara had swept in from above, the battle would have been lost. Where Naratos itself entirely would have been taken, and where she didn't, where she would circle in the skies and watch, and then pull back. And in the last centuries, she has taken great pleasure and relaxation in the fact that in her little corner of her entire half of the island, she is almost untouchable, surrounded by almost fanatically loyal servants that have essentially now broken down into separate militias and like led by their hobgoblin warlords who all try and vie for favor and rank and station above each other by serving their queen, by continuing this war to try and prove that they can be the ones to break the elves once and for all. And Cathalanzara is content to let them try and to watch their devotion as wave after wave of goblins and hobgoblins and the rest all dash themselves against the blades of the elves, who at this point have very well fortified this side of the island. And it's decorated with beautiful and horrific paintings across the kind of the slightly like crispy parchment pages. You see like you know, like old medieval tomes. There's like kind of stylistic almost like tapestries of like of scenes of elves running and green smoke billowing down from above, of somewhere it is a shredded battlefield of steel, stone and blood, and the dragon's wings just are like the entire sky is just the dragon's wings and her like head curling over her shoulder watching. And the worst part is that it doesn't change. After the first 4 centuries, it stops changing.
Yeah.
And then it's just century after century of that constant instability, that fear, and the sadistic pleasure that this dragon seems to take in it.
Cool. Great read. Amazing. Great. Okay. Andrew, is there anything about the city where she built her nest? Is there any information on it? You know, just anything that could be useful about her nest?
Not in particular.
No, I bet.
It is referred to as just another city, which, as you've seen from Illingan, are not cities in the same way that they are in like a human kingdom. It's not like this is the city.
No,
it's like a long, sprawling place.
It's Sweden.
But it refers to it, the place where she has made her lair, as her labyrinth.
Her labyrinth. You told me about that. I remember. Labyrinth. Fucking hell. Okay. And that is. Do we know where that information comes from? Or we just.
Yeah. There is an old map within this book that points to like a bunch of like small like scattered towns and stuff across the east of the island, and just every single name is just scratched out, and there is like artwork across the map of like twisted thorn and vines that winds into this mass across where they were, and it's just in kind of gold and green. It just says Cathel and Zara's Labyrinth.
Cool. All right. Damn. Shit. Oh God.
Thank you.
I only just thought of this. It hopefully should be a quick one. But once Marigold has kind of helped Hemlock find the books on the Gordark and mushroomy bits, she wants to have a look at books about like high magic healing, how it can go wrong, why Maple might have come back the way she did. Just to try and find out a little bit more information on that.
Sure.
Makes sense.
I'll say, as she has now stepped into that kind of like NPC space, she spends a bit of time doing that. She doesn't find an awful lot in this space. Certainly not more than what kind of various members of your party like kind of half put together in their consideration of it last time.
Okay.
As you guys are reading, eventually as kind of the hours begin to tick on by, eventually Maple and Nute and Markos convene with you all at this library space. Feliciel kind of comes down behind you and brings some tea and some nice bread. It's like
So nice.
like focaccia with like sun-dried tomatoes in it. For like a lunchtime snack.
That's so cute. That's so good too. Goddamn. Wow. Well, thank you very much. Wow. All right. That will better my spirits for sure. Those books are horrible, by the way. No one reads it. History should not be read. Full of atrocities. Just don't.
He like glances down at the desk where the book you've been reading lies. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah.
What did you expect? You were reading up on a genocidal,
Yeah.
like,
No.
dragon.
It's
So you're like, what? It turns out this is bad?
no. This is
On the
exactly
flip
what I
side,
expected.
She does pay his rent.
Yeah.
Well,
This
I'm
is
all
exactly
good.
what I expected, Nute. I am.
I mean, she doesn't pay his rent anymore. He lives in a manor house with us, so.
Oh yeah, now we can go kill her now. She used to have my place. I mean, she's still paying for it. There's still a place in the city, I guess, where I can go. I have the keys of it, I guess.
Tal has redeemed a posture check.
Wiggle. But
Tal says wiggle.
my God. But yeah,
Wiggle, wiggle,
yes,
wiggle.
Nute. Even yeah. I knew what was in the book. It's still shocking.
Fair enough.
Cool. How was your research, girls? Was it
Oh, and we've just had night bites redeeming a hydrate.
okay?
Oh,
Very good.
right.
Informative. I think there's still some things that need to happen, but yeah, I found out some things that I didn't know before, and that makes it successful, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do what we talked about later on today. How
Thank
does
you.
that sound? Yeah. We can do that. Cool. What about you, Hope? Did you?
Yeah, fine. Thanks, Ashura. Very cool. It was all good.
Okay. Good. Good to know. All right. If everyone is good, we can go now.
Yes, let's head to the Jade Gardens.
That
Yeah.
sounds like a lovely idea. And Hope gets up and like walks out double fast,
Double
and doesn't
fast.
look back at anyone else. She's real mad at Ashura. She doesn't want to hear about this. Like everyone talking about it out loud in the library and being like, "Look at all this horror that happened." She was like, "Nah, fuck this noise."
Okay.
Please. Deuces.
Fair enough.
She'll be fine in a few minutes. Don't worry. I'm not causing drama in the group OOC on purpose. I just I'm trying to roleplay my character
Sure.
as honestly as I can. And if I forced you to re-describe all your shit, I think you'd be upset with Hope too. So.
Yeah. Sure.
as you all filter out of the library and return back to the bright sunlight of what is becoming the noon, you begin the walk. You head away from the long, slow-moving rivers and descend into the large, flatter valleys. You find more like occasional meadows and grasslands and slightly rolling hills. And you find just more, to be honest, obnoxiously beautiful scenery. It, like, not every meadow has to be a beautiful piece of art, but it kind of is. Like, you cross a section of meadow and it's just the most beautiful, vibrant kind of greens and grasses and kind of plumes of heather and lavender and flowers that kind of grow in wild bunches. There's a small natural spring kind of burbling away, and you see a couple like elven children like playing in it and stuff. There's one older elf like sitting, like laying down in the grass, just sunbathing, just vibing away. Music seems to come from nowhere in particular around them, as they just have just a very pretty day as you continue past. A few of you notice, those of you with the big perceptions, notice another few, like a small like trio of these gigantic owls that you saw up close up in the mountains, but this time kind of flying in like a high circle up in the sky, like ahead, like, in the rough direction that you're heading, a bit off the left. Is there anything you guys wish to do on this travel? As it's going to be, what, about a good few hours of travel?
Just to check, is our the character guide walking with us, or?
Yes. Unless you want him to stay behind, he will guide you and go with you.
Okay. I was just going to quickly ask about the flare that, like, or the firework type thing that we saw earlier.
That'll most likely be one of the baluster. You know, we'll probably actually cross paths with it, unless, if you're alright with a small detour, we can probably swing by one. I can't promise you'll be able to get too close, but they're something to see. I think the flare that you saw earlier would have been a test fire. That's probably what they're flying about doing now, making sure the areas are clear. Well, as I'm sure you're aware, we have large aerial foes, and so defenses against such things is important.
Of course.
Yes.
I'd be fascinated if we could take a look.
Of course. You continue along this way, heading. The forests peel away, and you find yourselves crossing into like fields, irregular ones, not like the patchwork that is the UK. You find like there's a section of field stretched out, a pen, where a number of large, like bison-esque creatures, kind of big hunched backs, kind of big horns, the occasional, like as they kind of trot about and chew the cud, and you eventually begin to see more and more owls, and occasionally large eagles in the sky. You see like one passing overhead. 5 minutes later, you see another little triad. And eventually, you see where they seem to be like circling in a wide orbit around. And you see as a small hill rises up, you see amongst the rising rock a slender tower seems to emerge, ascending maybe 60, 70 or so feet above the top of this hill. This slender tower ends in what looks to be a kind of enclosed observatory. You can see a slightly domed, shaded top floor, and what looks to be some kind of like cylindrical contraption that seems to extend beyond, facing up into the sky. As you get a little bit closer, another one of these large owls begins to swoop down. There is it kind of looms out of the bright sky, and you see like this, for like slightly too long, as it comes down from quite a height, as it spreads its large wings and lowers itself down until there's a very final of wings before it perches itself on its large talons. Sliding off of its back, you see an elf in fine, this time dark brown leather armor, a flowing cloak behind. You see they have dark brown skin. They pull the goggles away to reveal solid golden eyes. Elegant jewelry across like the ears, all the way up the sides of the ears. A small floating book seems to like hover behind one of their shoulders as they slide off the saddle and stand down. A small staff kind of tied to their back, jostles slightly. Afternoon, please. What's your business?
Greetings. We would like to see the fabulous arcane weaponry and the kind of battle tactics you've got going on here. Fascinating thing you do. You look great. Very good.
I appreciate that. As I'm sure you can empathize. Who are you?
Oh, I'm Lady Herborian Summerhold, High Arcanist of Adagan. Like, new role, like 5 days into the job. Sorry that my first impressions aren't great, but I'm meant to be researching. Adagan is finally embracing. I don't really be telling you all this. I know about magic, and I would like to know more.
Fair enough.
This dark-skinned elf like looked between you and your guide, Felicial, and he's like, these are guests of the High Chorister, the Soul Guard, opposing threats across the Silvern Sea to a degree that they have earned her favor.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Speaking of which, sorry, I don't know if you two are the people to tell, but I have no idea who to tell. There might be a huge crashed alien spaceship off the shore of Narutos, and there might be big purple people with tentacles trying to eat brains. Has that happened?
Oh yeah, those guys.
That is true. I completely
Please
forgot.
just give me a
about
moment to
those.
comprehend all of that.
I'm
Have
so
people
sorry,
lost
this happens wherever we go.
brains?
It's so embarrassing.
Yeah, I feel like it's.
I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry.
I
Yeah.
feel like the phrase "just give me a moment to comprehend all of that" I think sums up anyone ever meeting
Every
the Soul Guard.
NPC.
Wait, hang
Just-
on. You have one of their heads in the bag of holding them. Show.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's back
No?
in the workshop. I don't
Fair-
carry it with me everywhere.
That's a good thing. Just.
I only
just-
have 3 hearts with me right now. I can't minor
mine-
illusion.
My major image becomes an elephant.
Marigold could.
Marigold's not here right now, is she?
But I can just
She
major
is.
image it.
There.
Marigold can like. She's the head in the jar at the workshop. She can be like, "This is what it
A
looks like."
blurry hologram of an elephant head being like rotate on a pedestal in the air. but like Felicial like glances back between all of you and this darker skinned elf, like looks back towards the owl rider. Just want to back up a brief moment. I'm Prathan of the Wilderek.
Delighted to meet you, Prathan of the Wilderek. I'm absolutely charmed.
I come to the Baluster. We can discuss all of whatever that was, and if you are guests of the Chorister, then if our trust has been placed in you, then I see no issue.
Poor man.
Turns and speaks in Elvish, saying, "Watch the skies. Come to me if you see anything out of the usual." To the owl, which kind of gives like a curt nod. The large wings plume out and vanishes up, darting into the sky.
He talked to the bird again.
These owls understand Elvish. Incredibly intelligent birds.
That's impressive. Okay.
Beautiful! I cry after it in Elvish.
What
There
do I?
is a birdie thank you.
Yeah.
Can I ask while we walk, how is it you have the golden coloration in your eyes? You see, like, you know, you get me, right? Me, platinum, silver, gold.
Like they seem to kind of assess you as you walk alongside them, and you see this spell book is like still kind of hovering behind their shoulder. They pull that staff off and kind of use it to walk with.
Murder them and steal all their spells.
We already have so many spellbooks that we're not using yet. What's one more?
My particular family comes from a family of elves, not from Alaler, the heritage that comes from the far north. our family has been here for a long time, but it is more of a darkness and gold rather than the pallor and silver of the natives of the northern heritages. I understand you are of some celestial nature.
Yes.
It is not a similar thing.
That's so interesting.
I'm not of a celestial heritage, if this is what you're asking.
I mean, we all do. Born of the blood of the Wanderer, but yes,
course.
I understand.
I was actually made by
He really
Hemlock.
put that for me,
Yeah.
but I caught him. Don't worry.
Fair enough.
Thank you for protecting my honor.
You'll still go to the Silver Sea yet, my dear.
Like a smile like cracks at the corner of their mouth. As you get approach now the base of this tower, you can see it is this strange, like slender tower which grows out of the rocky outcropping on which it stands. That seems to swirl and twist, and at its peak there is this kind of lean-to almost covering, and it's hard. It looks mostly like a telescope of an observatory, but with no casing. And from the bottom, you can just see at the top kind of a section of lenses hovering one after the other, protruding and reaching out toward the sky. The Prithan reaches out and casts an arcane gesture in the air and speaks in Elvish, saying, "Guests of the High Chorister, lower the gates." And you see a very faint shimmer in the air as this almost invisible barrier that is between you and the base of this tower shimmers away. And as you begin to progress toward the base of one of these large observatory towers known as the Baluster, that's where we're going to take our break.
Hey!
Thank you everyone for being
Cool.
so far. You go take care of yourself and get yourself a nice half-hour break in your evenings to go gather some water, some snacks, take care of yourself in whatever way you need. We are going to be taking a short break ourselves, and we'll be back here at 9 p.m., so in 30 minutes. So don't be... While we're gone, what can you do? I mean, you can check out the Cognitive Merchant, check out their amazing stuff. You can follow us on all of our socials, which is where you want to be to catch up with all of our crazy content coming up in the next months and stuff.
You can
So-
go check out Amelia.
Yes, go check out
Yeah,
Amelia.
you can check out
Definitely.
Amelia. And flash up Amelia's art real quick.
Bam!
The Amelia
Bam.
of Witchingcraft, our wonderful friends, producers of 12 Inner Demons, the hosts of the Rogue Trader game that our crew is in.
Yeah. It's
in.
still going. It's all Shakespeare themed. I'm a big
Hell
tech
yeah.
dad.
My
Boss!
and
My
the
boss.
host, and the boss, and also the host of the Ravnica campaign that both myself and Rowan play in on Wednesdays. So fill your time with self-care and checking out content, and we'll be back here at 9 p.m. to continue the story and discover what lies within this arcane baluster. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye!
We're live, bitches. We're live.
Chicktail!
God damn.
Welcome back to this.
Welcome back.
Boom. God.
My
We
goodness.
all
I'm-
got really giddy on break. I want to preemptively apologise. I think the second half might be a mess. To Andrew and to the audience.
Yeah.
Because they love that shit. They love you guys just squirreling away into oblivion.
Yeah.
It's just my poor mental health that evaporates.
Oh no.
Remember, guys, shenanigans all the time, except in
Andrew's
serious
mental health is
scenes.
just a wickle goblin.
My mental health hit die is a D4.
God.
Oh.
Andrew's mental health only has 3 hit points.
Why is it guarding this dungeon?
Andrew's brain is guarding the entire dungeon of the entire world.
That's
It
right.
is.
My
That's
brain
right.
has gone into the dungeon, it's true. Unsuccessfully, because you guys have gone into them all. But, we'll
It'd be
see.
a very short game if it was successful.
That's true. Like, session 1, little dungeon, you'll die, get fucked.
Alright, game over,
TPK.
guys. For fun.
Ha! Good game, everyone. I win.
Welcome to my D&D speedrun.
Everyone else is
100%.
like, oh, my character was gonna be really cool. I'm like,
One of my
no.
favourite little topics of conversation is joking about speedrunning D&D. Coming up with stupid strats on how you can speedrun D&D.
I mean, isn't it like the thing is just to find the deck of many things as fast as possible?
Mmm.
Relay.
How many things try to
Posture
do
check.
it?
No, don't put a deck in this game. Because Ashura will draw 5 cards and then die.
Wait, didn't you see? Did you see that meme?
They'll somehow all be Don John.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you
I
did you see that meme where it's like half of the party is like on low health? The Bard, I have a plan. Take 3 cards out of the deck of many things. Did it go well? I don't know. I don't care. It's just fun. Okay. That would be Ashura completely.
Maybe I will one day. We'll see.
Like, you're fine if you draw like the sun, moon, and stars.
But like every time
It's
I've had the
like a bunch of XP because we don't.
yeah
Need masters. What does that
yeah
mean?
I don't know. But like every
It's
time
like 15k XP though.
yeah.
I just don't think it's fun to have one person at a higher level than everyone else.
That's true.
It's like in Pokemon. You don't have one of your Pokemon like stupidly high level and the rest is just like low level. What's
Wait,
the point?
well, that's not how you play Pokemon?
No?
No, it's I mean,
You mean you don't like catch like one Pokemon at the start of the game and put everything into that one Pokemon? So
Yeah.
you just have one Pokemon that's stupidly over leveled.
and then you just go through everything in the game with an 80 level character and just like, yeah, that's how you do it.
The only time I've ever played a Pokemon game was when I tried Pokemon Go, and it was just me and Alex in lectures, just
Raspberries.
swiping away.
Raspberries.
Yeah. So, welcome back, everyone. Hope you have gotten your beverages and hydrated by yourselves. We certainly have. I had some brownie. I was feeling it, and I'm glad I did it.
I was feeling it.
So, Solgard. As you approach and are led by Felocial, this elven cleric that has been guiding you thus far, and also Prathan, this owl-riding mage that has stopped you initially, and then hearing who you are and what you may have interest in at this ballast has led you towards this slender tower that curls and spirals out of this rocky hill. At its top, this observatory seems to loom and peer out of the top. As you get closer, you find a archway at its base and a set of stairs which ascend up it. He steps in ahead of you, gesturing you to follow, keeping close. And you can see at its base, it descends downwards as well. The spiraling staircase descends ever deeper, and kind of embedded in the rock, you see spiraling, like, just motifs, like a spiraling like inlay into the greyish rock that glows a soft blue, and the kind of pulses occasionally of light, which kind of is sent in both directions, both up and down, and like crosses over itself, highlighting in small bursts where it superimposes as two little pulses kind of intersect. You're led further up. This tower, which is maybe 20 or so feet in diameter, it's very slim, and it ascends for maybe 60, 70 or so feet. As you reach almost the top, you find there is no like floor after floor after floor. It's just spiraling stairs, and then one kind of room, and then a final set of stairs which goes to the top level. And in this penultimate layer, you find what is akin to a small staging area. There are crates and boxes latched, closed, and locked within it's like a locked case. They all lock on it inside a kind of a cage cabinet, which itself has locks on them. It is secured and locked down to a T. You also see what is essentially like shells. They look like large bullets, but themselves, rather than having like an actual projectile at the end, they just seem to have like glass, and appearing within the glass, in almost like written in bubbles in this 3D space, are runes and glyphs, which are like hologrammed within this material. And you see this kind of a small like pulsing, like some of them have like a greenish, which kind of shimmers throughout them.
Damn.
Some of them have like small blue fireworks that seem to consistently go within the crystalline structure of these gem and glyph-filled objects. As you find your way up this final level, you find yourselves with a beautiful view across the rolling meadows and fields, the sporadic copses of woodland. You see the mountains ascending into the misty horizon off to the north. you can very faintly see on the edge of the horizon a glistening border that is the sea, off at the very edges of your vision on this clear day. And you can see the large structure that is this tower serves to uphold. It appears to be a small stage, like a plinth, a small dais in the center of this space that comes up maybe a foot in height with a step at its edge. It seems to be made out of a solid kind of golden metal, and it's kind of the main circle at the top is a darkish grey. It is lined with pulsing, glowing runes of Draconic and Elvish in twisting arcane script. Hovering above it and looming out in a similar array to what you might see as a telescope in a massive observatory is just held in place, floating lenses. But rather than glass or crystal, there seems to be a shimmering mist around them, held in place by these hovering rings of golden metal that seem to spin in kind of differing directions and orientations as they like precede each other and onwards the next, and the next, and the next. The observatory itself begins to turn and spin, and this large array of lenses comes down like the barrel of a massive artillery cannon, and it begins to sweep the horizon. You see another number of elves. There are 3 other elves in here, all of whom are dressed in like fairly tight-fitting, functional clothing, like loose around the ankles, tight belts, so nothing too much is like swishing about. You see several desks in the corners with books and quills in orders, small racks and side tables with crystals and things. As this whole assembly twists and moves, the lenses constantly spinning slightly as they hover. Prathan gestures towards it. Welcome, I suppose, for the first time to the ballista. This is... you mentioned weaponry. This is not so much a weapon, rather than an apparatus for extending our reach. It serves to increase the range of something, to allow us to reach out and impact with our arcana things that we would not normally be able to do so. And you have gestures one of the elves that are operating this assembly, and as it swings down, the lenses point down towards the ground. Please, if you wish, take a stand in the center.
Take a stand against what? No, I don't actually say that. I'm sorry. I'll go stand.
As you stand in that central space and you look down these lenses, it is like you are standing before the scope of an immense rifle. You see kind of the edges, it's blurred and warped, but in its center, you see trees, rocks, grass, in incredible detail.
You could burn so many ants with this thing.
You certainly could.
You know what? I haven't seen any ants around here so far.
Might be
Well,
why.
that explains it.
Might be why.
But to demonstrate the essential principle, and he like steps to one side and casts a very familiar spell. He casts a firebolt, which out of the tower about 120 feet before dissipating into nothing. If you're an alchemist of some nature, is that right, Lady Hope?
Yes. Yes.
And he like stands kind of almost behind you and like raises your arm and like points to a tree that is several miles away.
Yeah.
Keep that with something that would well, whatever you wish.
Okay.
Power would kill on the tree.
Fuck you, tree.
Sickening
This
ratings.
particular tree.
I'm legit gonna cast a chaos bolt though.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's fun,
Oh, yeah?
right?
Yeah, go ahead and roll an attack.
If it's fire, you're gonna burn the entire forest.
It has to make a const. No, I wrong. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, everyone.
I figured.
There we go. Let's roll the right thing.
I rolled it. Hello. There we go.
There you go.
A 25.
Weirdly enough, the tree's AC isn't 25.
What?
What kind of damage is this doing?
Cold. It was cold or poison, so it's
Okay.
doing cold.
As you fire the energy forward, and it hits that first lens of mist, the lens blackens into a void of just nothingness, and then the next, and then the next, and the next, as it pulses down this assembly of these strange lenses. And you will see as this bolt that kind of roils out of Hope's hand in a kind of a curling mass of like purple and pink and gold as it freezes into white and streaks out of this assembly of lenses and streaks like a laser beam across the meadow side, across the rolling hills. And Hope, from your point of view, you can see this tree, one of its branches freezes as it's about to break off, and ice encases that break in a branch, and it
Wow.
freezes in place.
Damn.
What meta magic option is that? Sign me up.
It's
Holy man.
powerful and rare and difficult to maintain. But these ballista, there are numbers of them scattered around Narathos, allow us to ensure that should Kethalanzara ever choose to cross the mountains, we can start hurting her before she can start hurting us.
Impressive.
Very good. These are impressive, yes.
And so the
It also
large.
allows you to communicate. A
yes.
simple message cantrip is limited to such a short range, but across a battlefield, to be able to reach out and communicate so quickly.
If you had a
That is
tower
interesting.
piece with dozens of lenses on, and then everybody could class message up, and then the tower could scramble who it's meant to go to, and then you could pass it down. Now, wouldn't that be fascinating? Worldwide telecommunications? Oh, well, I've got some research to do.
Alexander Graham Bell, who?
Where's the tele come from?
Lady Hope Warring Summerhold, inventor of the telephone.
We all saw it coming.
Bitch, I need something to take selfies on.
That's
Isn't there that spell that you can just kind of do the long distance messaging people with?
Yeah, that takes a 3rd level spell slot. Are you fucking kidding me? I could fireball with that.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, magic hand, that one particularly.
yeah, I guess.
Thank you.
Great explanation. Great explanation.
Actually, I don't know about sending. I probably should have said that. Well, I guess Hope knows about sending now.
You read it in a book.
I mean, yeah, you could have the knowledge of the spell without being able to cast it.
It might be in one of our spell books, to be fair.
It's a 3rd level, but it's a very common one. For some reason, none of your party has it, which, to be honest, is madness to me.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll
Yeah,
learn
because
it,
we.
okay?
I mean, I don't think druids
Me and
can.
Hemlock and Markos
I can't learn it.
So.
I can't
No,
get it either.
Me neither.
The only one.
Really?
Yes, you fucking can!
Can?
You little bitch!
Alex, even if you couldn't, you have magical secrets as a bard.
Yeah,
so
but
you can.
yes, use fucking magical secret for sending. Oh,
Hey,
Well-
I used it before for goddamn
Yeah.
shillelagh.
yes,
So you can
because
use
you're
it for
dumb,
anything,
Jordan.
okay?
Because remember why? Because you wanted to hit people with your fucking violin. No, flute.
Wonderful, and it was amazing.
No, I
Best
mean,
decision I've made.
Anyway,
sure.
Anyway,
So those magical crystal that we saw, I mean, it looks like they look like large bullets made out of like a weird material. They also go through this contraption.
Essentially, yes. They for example, and he points in that there is a small like stockpile of those kind of ready at the side of this apparatus, and he points to he like lifts up one. It's about a foot long, maybe like 4 inches in diameter.
Big subway.
Yeah. It essentially is. You know how a scroll stores a spell that can be cast on a whim.
Yeah.
This is like a condensed version of this. This one is the magic missile spell, but cast many times over. And so that if a threat looms across the horizon, we do not need to expend ourselves necessarily to impact it from a great distance.
That's fascinating.
Pretty cool.
Because, you know, for example, we have a ring of spell storing amongst our party, and that's that, but amped up.
Yes, indeed. To be a dragon is one thing, but when 16 magic missiles are fired at 2 miles away, good luck breathing on us, eh?
Yeah. God
Wait.
damn.
So why don't you just like do that, but a lot of times over a long period of time, until you eventually have just like 500 magic missiles that all go up at once, and then just
to channel such amounts of magic as an individual, to have a theoretically, and like you can see, like he's
Calculating.
He is a soldier, he is a mage. And you are absolutely speaking to the part of him that is a fucking nerd that will sit around and
This is like you being like, well, why don't you just split the atom? And he's like,
Sure, I want to.
The films that you get when you like people video like toddlers asking questions to university professors.
Yeah.
Like that.
Those are great videos. Those are great videos.
You being like, Mister, why don't you put 500 magic missiles in it?
well, essentially, you could. However, to channel the amount of magic as an individual would be damaging, chaotic, unpredictable. You could build theoretically an apparatus which could contain such an expulsion of arcane power, but the priority of the ballista is to have things which are. I mean, every one of these is obviously very delicate and secretive and important and delicate and expensive. It's complicated. Well, the lenses themselves.
Are you telling me you're able to build things that can control arcane magical outbursts?
There are more containment like an explosion. But kind of, yes.
Could you do that with, like, gloves and hats? You know, if you were teaching new students magic, and you were worried they might go a bit out of control. I mean, not necessarily you personally, the elves of Narutos.
No, I understand. I mean, let's take a seat. If we're having a more pathetic conversation.
Sure.
Oh no, we needed to go somewhere.
Yeah.
What should we do? Should we be like, I'm so sorry, we'll come back, or should we sit with?
We can have the conversation. We can have the conversation
okay, I just
like
want like the rest of the session to be us being like, so theoretically, and like the poor lovely jock members of the party just being like, oh my fucking god.
the thing is, Nute would definitely be doing that, like 7-year-old child who doesn't understand science, being like, why don't you just do this?
But I feel like there's like Nute and Markos is probably interested, Ashura is interested as military man, and then Hope's interested as like an arcanist of that ilk. But I feel like the poor druids and Maple are just like, oh for fuck's sake, where's the mushrooms? Where's the mammal meats? I don't give a fuck.
Let me rage. Let me drink
yeah.
something.
They're
I
not
guess I'll
too
sit down. I was just checking OOC that you guys didn't mind.
Oh no, we do greatly.
Oh no.
He leads you to like the edge of this tower. There's no like railing to the end of it. This open edge which descends like.
Hope absolutely does the thing with Ashura where she's like, saved your life.
Fair enough.
And he like.
If you fell, I'd fly and save you, baby. You know that.
Yeah.
Dramatic fashion. He essentially like arranges a number of like fold-out chairs near the edge and a small table, and just like some juice is poured.
Juice.
Just like some nice orange juice.
Cool.
First up, actually, you know, sorry, I'm very easy to be distracted with arcane
That's fine.
things.
No, don't worry, us too.
Before we get onto this, and you know, whatever else, you mentioned something about spaceships under Naruto's.
Yes, so I believe the High Chorister is probably the best person to know of this. I think it should be elevated to that level, and I will like look at Felodius.
Hello, Tial.
It was closer than Alex's guess.
It was closer than Oran, which is what Alex was calling him.
Yeah. That was a misunderstanding from me.
But yeah,
and like and just be like, yes, we have taken they call themselves mind flayers. It's what we've been calling them since we found them. They are alien creatures with anatomies we've never seen before, and I'll let Hemlock describe the anatomy as much as she wants. Like,
I will pull out my journal and where I've done the really detailed drawings of mind flayers, both whole and not, and just this is in the same way that he was going nerdy a little bit about arcane magic. It's the same with Hemlock about biology, where it's like massive fold out and loads of papers.
If possible, Andrew, I'd like to use my major image to turn into an elephant and just T-pose and just move around as Hemlock is like talking about the different points and just.
Did you? Sorry, I think I misheard.
You said elephant?
No, elephant. Elephant. Are you mocking my accent?
I'm gonna turn into an elephant and T-pose.
It's just a T-posing elephant.
And just T-pose. No.
The elephant's shoulder joints do that.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm this game. I'm too chaotic in this campaign to like throw you a rock, thinking that this is not what I said. It could have been.
And then the rest of us will probably, I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like it would make sense if while she's explaining this, we're like, oh yeah, and this one was in this cave system, and this one had a fire giant, and we do all of the this is where we fought them, and this is how we killed them, while Hemlock is like, yes, but look at the lung, it has 8 lungs, and we're like,
8?
very good, bless her.
He immediately reaches into his spellbook, which is like hovering behind him still, and he reaches inside the pages. And he pulls out a long, thick scroll that he lays out on the table. Like moves the juice to one side, and he lays it out, and you see it is completely blank. It is an empty scroll. He reaches into the pages once more and pulls out a large pot of ink, which is like a darkish blue, almost purple. Lays it on the side, and begins above the pages, above the paper, begins to cast an arcane rune, and slowly the ink begins to just pull up into a spiraling spout and just plunges into the paper and spiral out like roots of a tree and begin to form words and drawings and diagrams as he is essentially speed copying every image that you're showing him, every write-up and every anecdotal story about.
That's cool.
Can I please have one of those quills and inks?
As he's casting it, muttering under his breath, in the moments between, he seems like a magical item or such. This is a spell. This is called Fabricate, and he kind of starts showing the hand motions he's using.
That's really cool.
And he's he explains essentially he is just putting together the raw materials for an item.
Yeah.
As you explain the story, he is conjuring this item to be a scroll with the words written upon it.
Yeah. A lot of, just to note, a lot of Hemlock's notes are written in a weird shorthand hybrid of Common and Druidic. And I will do my best to translate them.
I reckon
through them.
Sweet.
He probably can read them anyway.
I reckon I have this really cute image of you saying and doing things in Druidic, and little Marigold being like, oh.
Yeah, that's probably it. I get carried away. Yeah. Starting to flicker into it. But yeah, doing my best to translate as I go.
Perfect. He through the use of the spell to rapidly turn this verbal information into a written scroll, and he's those of you who are partaking slightly less in this exchange, it's kind of awe-inspiring just to see how much information is being transferred and immediately retained. And he is just very, very quick to be the second there's a bit of unclarity, he asks a pertinent question and you clarify it, and it the ink shifts and twists on the page. Occasionally you see those of you that read Elvish, there's a typo, and a wave is going across it, making sure the typos are right.
Nice.
He's got a fucking magical spell check.
Look, a fourth level spell slot you'd expect it to.
But
Grammar check, you have to upcast it, but you know. But yeah, perfect. Yeah, as you guys come to like the conclusion of this tale and the last bits that you are aware of, he puts like every word of detail down, including Itheros and how they apparently went to Narutos. What do you tell them regarding Celephode, who vanished, traveled towards Naruto, and was delivered to you by the dragon?
I think we definitely say we have an ally who lives on the island that we only see on occasion, and they delivered to us a dead body of one of these creatures, claiming that it had been found in the waters near Narutos. So the threat may be gone, but be wary. That's like I think how we should phrase it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that sounds
We
good.
might get still like why did that person not talk about the local authorities about it? You know.
He does ask, who is this friend, this ally? If they are there to provide information on this.
Friend of the goblins. So I don't think they'd have spoken to you. Goblinoids, I understand, not ones to help the elves.
Make a persuasion check for me.
Persuasion, okay.
Yeah, it's true. Goblinoids
I mean,
are.
it's not technically a lie.
Yeah.
Like,
Tides of chaos it.
But
hell yeah.
wait. I'm gonna try to help. Yeah, but I mean, yeah. Let's go.
A
Let's go.
26.
26. Damn. Shit.
Right. So,
Don't mind
for your awareness, I'm interpreting that to be you're essentially persuading him to not keep asking questions, to let you guys have your discrete source.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
hopefully he kind of believes that maybe it's like a goblin general,
Yeah, like
or like a pirate who's mates with the goblins.
You got a dude on the inside.
Not green bitch herself.
I mean, that would be far fetched from the guy being like, yeah, the enemy queen. Yeah, definitely him.
so as he's like asking about, you know, who is the source of yours, and you say it's a friend of the goblins, he narrows his eyes like instantly at that and kind of looks you in the eyes.
Or just like smile.
Oh.
Sparkle my little silver eyes at him.
And now, could you make a deception check?
Okay.
Because the part of it being someone that found the body in the waters is not true.
A 17.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, I genuinely thought she found him, like,
No, she killed it.
sailing to-
No, she killed him.
She killed him.
Acid breathed him.
The guy.
Yeah, I know she killed him, but I thought she found him, like, on his way to Narutos and killed him. Like, that's what Prudence thought had
Okay.
happened. Is that not what happened?
It wasn't. She didn't say where she found him. She just said,
I thought she found him, like, on the tail end of the dolphin somewhere, like, trying to look for his ship and acid. But that's what I inferred. That doesn't mean I know.
Yeah. Okay. As far as you omitting the specifics of this, his eyes remain narrowed for a moment, but he seems to accept that for now, the fact that this information has been relayed is valuable. And your guests of the High Chorister, it's unlikely that you're best buds with the dragon.
Also,
little
yeah.
does he know.
Well, I mean, we're not best buds with her.
You're not, it's true.
No, that's
Five of us
true.
aren't. 6 of us aren't.
Not anymore.
Okay, 7 of us aren't.
Nice.
All right. In that case, I shall deal with this later. Thank you for passing this on. And he kind of mentioned, he like calls up one of the elves that are operating this baluster, and in Elvish explains that he will have to take a more protracted patrol to deliver this. And they're like, yeah, right.
Cool.
Right, all right, okay. Well, we'll pass this on to the scouts of the Nemean Ridge and see if they can find anything that correlates to any of this from their reconnaissance among the corridor.
We have
Ashura,
OC, we know that we think that the spaceship is in the layer, right? Or we know that.
the bits that you have heard and guessed is it is somewhere beneath the caustic caldera.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
That's what.
We can tell them that then. I'm happy to tell them that. They know our source is goblin adjacent in nature. Knowing something about that side of the island is not suspicious.
Our source is green.
So it is green.
You cannot say that.
That's poking the bear. I mean, even if we said we're friend with Kethal and Zara, they won't believe us. I mean, I did with a good persuasion roll, yes, but
like
it's
still not a good thing to say.
I know. But my point is, it's pretty far fetched for us to be like we're friend with that crazy woman, crazy dragon.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. Well, this is an unexpected thing for my to-do list. You have like
Yes, sorry. We kind of leave this. We leave this trail of chaos wherever we go, but I will be staying for a while, and my friends will not. So, anyone is welcome to speak to me. I'm come as on behalf of Adagan to speak with the elves of Naratos and share information and disseminate things like that. So, over the coming weeks, you can chat with me about anything.
Good. Well, if the rest of you don't have anything in particular to ask, then in that case, I might ask that our conversations of chaotic magical containment perhaps wait for that another
Sounds
day.
champion to me. I have places to be and people to see.
Seems so do I. So, does an old spell in the air and speaks out in Elvish. Come, we have a journey to make. As he speaks out, and the spell seems to grasp the words and vanish.
Luis.
All right. If there's nothing else for the rest of you, then let us make our way.
Sure. Sounds good.
Should we try and be? You and see if he'll lend us some owls to fly there. I just think it'd be fun. No, we'll walk. Use our legs. Everyone was kind of like, no.
I mean,
go for it.
And I was like, okay, it's fine.
we can try. I'm not saying it's this,
Let's walk. Let's walk our little leggies.
Sure.
You are shown to the base of this tower, and as you leave, around like a 10 feet away from the outside of the tower, there is this cylinder of invisible force that is let down and then reinstated as you all make your way outside of it. Waiting at the base, there is that giant owl saddle affixed to the back, wings tucked up behind. Drayton swings up onto the back, puts his large staff across the shoulders. The book kind of flaps its way up behind him, and actually slots onto a part on the back of the strap, and sits down as the wings flap. It was a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I look forward to our conversations later on, and for the rest of your journeys, have a wonderful time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice.
And well met.
Well met.
Hemlock, just a thought while we were up there. Ring of Spell Storing, do you need anything else put into it? I can do that for you now if you want.
Oh, I might, if I could maybe take another third level counterspell. I ended up using it last time. I think I've still got both. I've got both healing left in it.
You can also put your own healing in it, right? So that's chill.
Yeah.
You don't need me to put healing in it.
No.
Do I have to roll a d20 for putting a thing in the Ring of Spell Storing?
Yes, please.
I did also use Tides of Chaos already. I don't know if you. I don't know if you want me to do anything about it.
I'm so scared. If you start please do the one that casts like a circle of anti-magic around everything. That'd be fun.
So do you want me to roll a d100 or a d20? Sorry.
What spell are you casting?
Counterspell.
Counterspell.
Into the ring.
I did use my Tides of Chaos to tell a horrible lie to some nice elves who probably worship
Yes.
the Slayer.
You did. Could you please roll a d100 for me?
Yeah.
Me and Jordan were literally talking the other day about what would happen to our party if we get thrown into an anti-magic area.
I know what this one is because it's one of the only ones I have memorized.
Oh no.
As
Unicorn.
Hope on this ring, and the magic begins to out into the ring and is captured, and small runes across its surface begin to glow a faint kind of a faint, like almost neon blue. There is a faint and like a nice kind of brownish red ceramic pot, flowering plant just
Are they roses?
to the ground.
My symbol is roses.
Not again.
They can be roses.
It's
It's
not a
the only one
geranium.
I remember because it's Douglas Adams one.
Yeah, it's the geranium one. Ah, not again.
Oh
What
no.
happened?
I think
Flowers, beautiful. Roses too. Nice. Why?
right.
Okay. Magic, weird.
Yeah.
Hope apparates with a small puff of like petals which go like flitter away from her shoulders and drift to the ground before vanishing.
That's not one I've seen before.
Yeah.
That was one of the most unpleasant sensations. I don't know how you do it. Power to you, druids. Shall we? And I kind of gesture onwards with one like leafy green arm that's slowly that gold.
That would not be fun in the
So-
middle of a battle. Just turn into a pot of flowers. No, not fun.
Oh goodness! And I like hit the side of my head and some petals fall out my ear.
Beautiful.
Well, at least I knew how it felt to have as many brain cells as you. What?
What's a brain cell?
Oh, bless
I
you, man.
look. I learned punching, not biology.
That's, you know what, very fair, man.
Just
Very
kind of
fair.
link arms with Nute as he says that.
Pat him on the shoulder.
Pat him
Yes.
on the shoulder.
Sure, buddy,
I'll give
sure.
you some biology lessons at some point.
No, no.
Bet you will.
Yeah.
Maple!
Yeah.
I love that.
It was so easy. It was right there.
I give a wing to Maple. That's right. That's good stuff. I like that. That is good material right here. This is why we need you in the party. No other reason.
I'm the only one who will make dirty jokes with you.
Marigold
Yes.
absolutely rolls her eyes, but also
Oh, yeah.
like shoulder bumps and nuzzles up to you a little bit.
Thank you for following Prime Savage 97.
Ooh, damn! Thank
Thanks,
you.
Oh, for some of the walk, can I go arm in arm with Marigold when she's not busy with Maple? Because just Marigold was cool, and we only got to hang out for like a couple hours. Not to do anything, just to gossip and chat. You know,
Yeah.
Perfecto.
appreciate that.
Nice. The rest of your walk is relatively uneventful. It is this similar kind of obnoxiously beautiful meadows and flowers. You see more elves occasionally just going about their day, some kind of around copses of trees, foraging for small mushrooms and edible plants and things, and gathering them into like beautiful wicker baskets and things. Clouds begin to roll in as evening begins to loom. Deeper blues begin to emerge across the eastern skylines, across the mountains. Eventually, first of all, Markos and Hemlock and Ashura, the forest begins to loom and grow once more. You are now exiting those kind of rolling meadowlands, and you're returning to a forest. And as you're going through, those kind of dying beams of sunlight of the afternoon shine through the leaves of the trees. But something catches your eye that's odd. The light that shines through the leaves does not kind of give a soft green glow and hue as it does fall through the canopy, but rather a glinting green, a diffusing green as light shines through crystal. And as you look up, you begin to notice the forest around you is not one of wood and of leaf and of twig. And as the rest of you begin to notice around you, the trees around you are twisted, smooth jade.
That's so sick.
Wow.
Solid stone, but of every organic shape, of every twisted knot that you find in wood, that you find here in stone. The forest floor itself becomes smooth. there is no falling leaves here to create that soft underbrush, and instead, between small cracks in the stone that the roots push down into the dirt, there are just small plumes of live ferns and grass and moss that create this kind of strange forest floor of smooth stone and soft moss between. And you find yourselves in the Jade Garden. You see occasionally small homes. In the same way that Felociel's home was twisted out of stone of the mountain and tree, the homes here are the same. They are warped out of the jade. And so you see where a large oak tree-esque specimen rises up. Its large, swollen trunk splits with small windows, and soft orange light emanates from within. Doors of that same jade painted in beautiful colors so that as the light from within emanates through this slightly translucent stone, it throws splashes of color across what is becoming the blue hour and then evening of the Jade Garden. Felociel keeps leading you, but you can tell soon he becomes not lost, but is just seems to be looking for something.
Uncertain.
That he hasn't found out. Until eventually, now evening has set in, the sun has set, and Felociel will, with a flick of the wrist, send out some faint, bobbing globules of whitish light that kind of hover around you and follow you, providing a dim illumination to the space around you.
I'll cast light as well. Not that it needs it, but just to help, on the contrary.
Who can't see in the dark in the group? Only Maple,
I
right?
think it's Markos. The only one who can't is Markos.
The reason I don't like dark vision is shades of grey, night vision
Yeah.
levels,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
It is.
It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing as really seeing.
Yeah.
I don't feel 60 feet isn't very far.
Oh yeah, I have I
20 feet.
have 120. Yeah, for people from the Underdark have 120.
Sorry, I
But
just
still.
had the thought that Marigold's butterfly dancing lights would look so pretty. So
Oh
she's
yeah,
gonna,
please. I love your style so much, Marigold. It's beautiful.
Magic is like a personal art style. I like it.
It
Wow,
is.
I love your style of doing the shadows. It's really cool.
You become this troop through the trees of light and color as you walk in your strange kind of twos and ones with golden light, bobbing white butterflies of slightly tainted colors shifting through these slightly opaque trees.
If anyone watching is a really sick character artist, I have to draw the 7 of us walking through the Jade Garden surrounded by glowing butterflies.
If you
know,
want
you're
to,
welcome.
yeah,
You're welcome.
you're completely welcome to do
Be
that.
extremely toxic and pay you in clout only.
I mean, if
Maybe
if,
not.
If we'll ever do start doing art of this kind of stuff, we will absolutely do giveaways and stuff in return because that shit's just too cool.
We
not to
will
reward.
pay you with, I don't know, Chili's gift cards.
Today we're gonna make millions.
Chili's.
Okay.
Yes.
we
I know.
UK and France.
Yeah.
Why would we give someone a Chili's gift card?
Because American
That's the
pop
fucking
culture is
joke,
all we
damn it.
have, man.
Because
Got to spend with the lads.
to spend with the lads.
Nando's.
Boys.
Fan art
Fucking.
equals Nando's. There you go.
Heard it here first, folks. You draw us good enough fan art, we can draw us
Flavor it.
Oh.
Oh god.
As you all move through this strange, ghostly, it feels almost like a sculpture garden or a gallery, but there is still that kind of element of living moss and ferns and flowers around you that tie it to being natural. And you can see as you glance up, as the starlight begins to rain down and the light of your own spells illuminates the space, the tips of the branches are swaying. There is ever so slight, that faintest, almost tinkling sound of very faint breaking glass as the tips of these branches move and shift.
Wow.
And you notice among the evening song of the wind rustling through this canopy, you begin to hear singing. a feminine voice alongside a second voice that seems to be coming in and out, offering harmonies. And as you begin to get closer, you see the trees are wavering more. The branches shift more with the wind and sway backwards and forwards. And it becomes hard to tell if they're swaying in time with the wind or with the song. As you get closer to the origin of this noise, you begin to see a source of light between the trees ahead of you. Until you begin to see a clearing, a space where these trees open up and a bed of just wild grass and moss and ferns create this small, soft space. And in the center, you see two figures. Searches for description. You see one who is standing in the center, and then one who is standing like off to one side. Like one is like poignantly in the middle, one is like standing and kind of almost like pacing around them. The pacing one has a high, pulled up ponytail of dark chestnut hair, olivish brown skin. In the golden light of the dancing lights that kind of fill this space, you see glimpses of solid golden eyes, similar to Prayfans. They have, as you get closer and closer, you begin to see that they are rimmed in silver eyeliner that seems to paint up past the temples and along the long ears in winding patterns. The figure that stands in the center, who is the one holding the central part of this melody, is an elegant elven woman who has this like very kind of draping, hooded, flowing vest cloak that comes down sleeveless, and it's in like a deep dark blue. The trim of it is in kind of embroidered gold, and you see along their arms and their face and neck pale white skin. You see looping braids of silver hair decorated with golden clasps, and their face decorated with like soft purple eyeshadow and again white eyeliner that delicates small vine-like patterns around the eyes.
Damn.
The pale one in the center doesn't seem to notice you. They are lost in this song, and now in the center of this clearing you see the trees are waving, dancing slow, very, very slowly to this song. The darker skinned elf does notice you as they are pacing around their...
I notice us because Nute walks into the clearing and goes,
Hello.
The pale elf seems to be lost in the song. And
so much.
the darker skinned elf notices you and waves a hand in greeting. Now you can say hello.
Hi. Hello.
You, please leave this conversation.
As you approach the edge of this clearing, the darker skinned elf like raises his hand, first to wave you greeting, but then to bid you to stop. You broke out sorcerer.
Hello, stop.
To giggles.
Literally can't.
You have warned everyone.
Every time
All
I
it
think
took was
about
one
every time
word.
I think about it, just like a little dwarf waddling into the clearing and being like,
Stop.
Respectfully stood back, like eyes open in wonder. I'm like, oh, good. Good,
oh
good.
my
Oh
god.
my
Good friends.
All right. Back to serious.
Yes, no,
Back
it's
to serious.
perfect. It's-
No.
Like,
So they bid us.
exactly what Nute is.
Yeah.
Oh my
They
god.
bid us to stop, right?
Come on, leave.
Sorry, I'm still thinking
Fucking
about
hell.
it. You're giving me the giggles.
Yep. Saw that.
Eventually, the song comes to an end. And the pale-skinned elf opens their eyes and glances around, noticing that their teacher has turned their attention toward you all. And Hope, you recognize this elven woman with her pale skin and looping silver braids is Kalana.
She got a haircut.
She did.
What?
She had gold hair last time we hung out with the bitch.
And how many colors has your hair been, Prue?
Wait,
Yeah?
what?
How dare she? How dare she?
Change. Mums are permanently the same. Unalterable, never changing.
Unwavering.
Now that you mention it. Wait.
I want to run in and just go hug my mom. I want to hug my mom. Can I hug my mom, Andrew?
I make a saving throw. No.
She's the illest we lost.
The Darkson elf kind of like almost like takes a step back as you rush forward. But seeing
Bye-bye.
Kalana, but seeing Kalana kind of like that look of shock, and then a smile spreads across her face, and she stands and
She has a really beautiful smile, everyone. I wrote it in her character description just so you all know.
Andrew makes her smile like never. She never smiles.
I love in this campaign, when Prue creates a character, she doesn't describe them in a way that would be perceived as beautiful. She's just like, no, they're beautiful. I don't care what you say. Sorry.
Yeah.
that's fair. To be honest.
Everyone is beautiful. Okay.
Kalana takes like a couple of steps forward to meet you near the center of the clearing and around you. She is taller than you, not by an awful lot.
Gee. I shrunk a lot.
Yeah,
in
she
the course of
did.
this campaign.
Yeah, she's taller than you. She's like 5'6" or so, like enough where it's like you're like here now. And she like wraps her arms around you, and just in kind of flowing Elvish is just, oh, what on earth are you doing? I'm so happy to see you. You've grown so nice. Like takes your face in her hands and like inspects you, and like there's like a look of what, and in those fraction moments where you're like, is that a look of worry? She like pulls your face forward and like kisses your cheeks and like pulls you in close.
I'm in front of my friends. You're embarrassing
Yes,
me.
you're friend. You're
Lol.
sure. I'm sure you'll survive.
Please don't say you're going to get out a handkerchief and lick it and do that whole thing.
Well, I wasn't before, but she
No,
reaches in.
I can press the dictate. Stop, it's fine.
She starts like going like this, and all like poofs of silver sparks like going
I'll
around.
play
Marigold wants to make her little butterflies like float around it.
Aww.
For a few moments, like Kalana is distracted, like responding with fire of mum energy. But like wraps her arms around you once again and like notices the butterflies, and then the rest of the group
I'm
standing
like,
there.
I will twist to one side with my arms around her, but we're still embracing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the little one waving is Nute, and the one that looks like she might be a mushroom is Hemlock, and then the really cool goth gnome is Maple, and the very sweet delicate gnome is Marigold, and then Ashura is the drow at the back with the six-pack out, you know?
Hello.
Oh, Markos, sorry, I
Yeah.
couldn't see him through the trees. He's so good at hiding.
Still hiding, just like. Oof.
Yeah, Mother, please meet the Soul Guard. I'm sure you've heard about them.
Or not,
like,
maybe not.
Keeping an arm still around you, she's not quite ready to let go of you yet. She like faces towards all of you and like places a hand on her chest. Like, I've heard an awful lot about all of you. It's really wonderful to meet everyone. I've heard all of the stories. Everyone, I suppose, meet Kai Thriel. Kai Thriel is my jade singing teacher, and the darker skinned elf kind of like puts their heels together and like.
Just a teacher?
Yes, and like for a moment, but after like apparating from childhood into womanhood at her door, is immediately insinuating that she's dating the teacher.
But are you though?
I mean,
Hey, baby.
Yes, well, it's plenty of time to talk about that another time.
Yep.
No, this is Kaithfield. They are my my jade singing teacher. Kaithfield, this is my daughter Hope, and she like holds you in front and like wraps her arms around you.
Aww, she's cute.
Oh.
And this is the Soul Guard. Goodness. Wasn't expecting this.
Well, neither were we, but then Maple... So, last I wrote you a letter, lots of things have happened, but Maple did die, and we've brought her back to life. That's why she doesn't have the big ginger hair and stuff that I described. And
This is lovely too.
the High Chorister did it for us. How nice is that? That was bloody lovely.
It's incredible.
Pretty. Yeah. Great person.
Thumbs up all around from our gang.
Yeah. Thumbs up all around. They did
We're a
everything
thumbs
so.
up kind of gang.
Incredible.
Yeah. we just go around the town in Naruto's just like, yeah. like stupid tourists.
Kamala turns to the teacher. Kaithfield, I obviously didn't know this was coming. Is it all right if there's space? There's certainly space. The house is relatively empty. Of course, they can stay.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, I think it's
Well, that was a strange song.
The
Wow,
bell
I've
from
never
the
heard
gods.
that before.
it's a vocal exercise.
It's every day. It's every week at the exact same time. It's very weird. It's like at 11. Ding. Wow.
10.
10. Yeah, it's
Almost.
11 for me.
Almost like clockwork. Whatever
Yeah.
that is.
Andrew!
Remember, there are no clocks. I won. He said it.
I have clocks here!
No, he said it. There are no clocks.
Time.
No,
Is
no.
those all elves? Like,
No,
what?
they just sing at the time and it replies with the number.
They just have sundials.
I mean, that's basically a clock.
Yeah, but it's not clockwork.
Like, elves don't have clocks,
They
apparently.
don't need it. Okay, they live for like
No,
millenniums.
Just have sundials, and therefore time only exists during the day, or very, very bright moony nights.
One of the elves
The
writes
wrong
the
time,
inspiration
but
for
it
modern day England, and one of them just kind of sits atop a tower, and every hour just sings out a lovely chorus a number of times equal to what time of day it is.
There you go.
They call Ben.
They go Ben. They're pretty big. They're pretty big.
Just a chunky elf.
Hey,
named
look!
Ben.
It's Big Ben. Hey.
It's Big Ben!
He's a magnificent tenor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's just Pavarotti, but an elf. He just sits there.
Fucking hell. So, so
Baritone man named Big Ben.
fucking hell.
Sing top of the tower.
Oh yeah. This is totally fucking
You can feel
real.
that resurrecting Hemlock next
Oh,
week.
this week.
So, I feel I think we're probably done with today's lessons. If
Can we sing? We haven't sung together. Sorry, no, I don't mean sing like sing with the capital S and the trademark like how you do, but could you perhaps lead us in a chorus? Because, well, the last time we sang it was at Maple's funeral, and it was very, very sad, and we were just singing
Yeah.
gnomish funerary songs. Maple, it was really beautiful. Like, if you die again, just know we'll give you another bloody good send-off. But it'd be nice to, we've never sung in celebration together. Yeah, I don't know about the rest of you. I felt really awkward when the High Chorister was bringing Maple back to life. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to join in the singing in case I ruined it,
Yeah.
but...
I mean, there is a reason
Yeah.
why I go around with a harp. It's because I don't know what to sing.
Except you don't, because you sold it.
Yes, also that. But I can just make music now, whatever I want, and my major image becomes of me playing a harp behind me, and just it's beautiful. And I'm like, hey, I don't need to have things and do it. I have magic for it.
looks toward Kaithfield with a glance, and Kaithfield has this while Kelowna has immediately broken into wide smiles and hugs and excitement. Kaithfield has stayed this kind of stoic, standing straight kind of manner. Well, of course I can. If you all don't know, let's see. Actually, they reach into a side pouch and they actually have a number. They're a singing teacher. They have music, and they actually present
They
a
have
number
it.
of like song sheets with words in Elvish. Sorry for those that don't speak Elvish.
What if you just say these out loud for me?
I wouldn't worry. They're rather repetitive. For the first verse, just listen and copy, I suppose. And, like hands out the song sheet.
I'll pair it with Markos because I don't know if Markos speaks Elvish.
Markos does speak Elvish.
Markos
Markos
does
does.
speak Elvish.
Perfect.
Maple and Marigold do not.
I'll be in the middle of them too. Just be like,
That's one thing. Never mind. Yeah. All right. I suppose I'll lead us in, and then just join in when you're comfortable, I suppose. And there's like kind of baffled kind of tone to their voice, but this is pleasant enough. Yeah, sure. And they begin to sing, and they have this. They're like many of the elves you've seen. Many elves will are fairly androgynous, and some will choose in a moment to present one way or another and align a little closer to male or female. Kaifil is in a kind of androgynous, slightly more masked space, and with them they carry just a velvety tenor that leads in, and into the next verse, Kalana joins in with a nice higher melody which follows and harmonizes very, very simply. This is quite an easy song, but it's cheerful and simple and happy. Alex,
can I? I am extremely using this major image that.
Yes.
But I am so sorry if you don't want me to. You can tell me. It's a ignoring spell for that, I guess. Can I just Ashura doesn't know how to sing really well. He never did, so he's just gonna make the major image sing for him, and it's gonna be really beautiful.
it's amazing.
Yeah,
was
he was
gonna
just
say,
mouthing the
yeah.
words. He's like doing like a. And both Maple and Marigold
don't
next
have
to
music
next to
video.
him kind of like notices the difference. It's not always on point.
But lip syncing is what it was.
Yeah, I'm lip syncing. No, that's perception, Alex. Nope. Performance, a +5. Wow, I can see
Cool.
things well, but
Hey!
no, the 8. Oh, 19.
19, well done.
Because the 18 and 21 are for perception.
Yeah.
But 19 for performance.
Your lip syncing is very good, and no one can obviously tell the difference between
Yeah,
your singing voice.
At one point, I look at Nute, and I just close my mouth, and it just keeps on going, and I continue to go back.
I would like to ask, just because it feels like the right thing to ask, of when everyone is joining in, what does everyone's voice sound like? What kind of singers are everybody? Because I think that'd be a nice thing to know. What do people's singing voices sound like?
Ashura's singing voice, I guess I'll start. Ashura's singing voice is, I don't know any terms of like singing, so I'll just use like normal, like common ones. High pitch, but like
Okay.
like more masculine high pitch. I don't know how that's
Tenor,
called.
like tenor.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess
Ish.
you tell me. But yeah,
Cool.
that. What about Hope? What's your
I'll go
voice?
next. Yeah. Hope is just someone that could definitely hold a chorus. It's not bad. It's not unpleasant. It's she can hold a tune. It's not captivating. It's perfectly pleasant. It's just perfectly pleasant. Music was around her house as a child. Her mother is a musical person. You can tell. She also usually just sings at karaoke.
Yeah. Hemlock's is like very quiet and like, you know, the kind of like breathy soprano that you get in like folk singing. It's that, and again, it's not amazing, but again, her dad was a singer and a very good singer, and she grew up around music. But it's the kind of thing that you can hear singing, you know, like folk songs and little like ditties back on Leversuda rather than like big elven choruses.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. I kind of see it like as a shy gospel girl in like a church.
Kind of, but not that good.
Okay.
Like, she's not a singer. She's the whole thing of like the elven arts that she's picked up is drawing, not singing.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough.
she's there and she's just like doing a little almost whisper singing, I think.
Fair enough. Cool. What about you, Nute?
I think Nute is almost definitely a tenor, but has much more the vibe of. I imagine most of his sort of singing experience, especially of recent, has been basically sea shanties. Well, with
That's
like,
bad.
well, with the Pirates of Leversuda. So it's got that kind of a bit of an upbeat, jovial sort of vibe to it as he's singing as well.
Yeah, you're a dwarf that's not a bass.
Yeah,
Interesting.
he's got range.
I was expecting at least a baritone.
What about Maple and Marigold?
Oh yeah.
I think Maple is probably like a pretty low ranging alto. She's definitely on the lower end of the register. So she's kind of more of a like supporting singer. So like she can hold the note, but like it's not like the most beautiful thing you ever heard or anything. But she's used to singing like gnomish songs, so picking up Elvish probably isn't that hard. I don't know. And then Marigold is probably very floaty, very sort of like mezzo soprano, like just.
I like.
It matches her personality. It's very sweet and motherly.
I like the idea that gnome and Elvish. It's kind of like French and Spanish, or like French and Italian, or Italian and Spanish. Yeah. It's kind of like same roots, same thing. Oh, I understand a bit of that. Yeah.
We're both Latinates.
Yeah. That's exactly right. We're both Fey ancestry. Not really. It's fine. It's cool.
Yeah, that's just what I wanted to know. I think it would be nice to imagine.
Yeah.
Kelowna you can tell it immediately is a very well practiced, like hearty alto. Has like almost like the figure that you'd expect to go for like the high soaring melodies and stuff, but seems very comfortable at that middle kind of timbre. Kaithil, however, is very versatile, and those of you that are kind of less confident singers, you notice that they kind of pace around the group, and while trying to both be like, you're having a bit of a nice family moment thing, I'm not going to like interject too much, but if they notice that you're struggling, kind of adjusts their line to be whatever you're trying to do and try and like give you something to kind of latch onto.
That's cool.
and go along with.
That's nice.
Especially those that don't speak Elvish, just kind of like over enunciate the words a little bit to help it be a bit easier to follow along with. They might as well teach a bit while they're here.
That's really nice of them, to be fair.
I mean that, yeah. Do you guys have a beautiful sing song? And like, while Kelowna is this very good singer, they do occasionally just like stop and kind of falter between lines and just like wrap their arms around you, Hope, and just like give you a good hold, and just like rest her head on your shoulder a little bit. A bit of a lean because you're short and shit, but like is very like surprisingly like physically affectionate, especially given kind of that stoic presentation that everyone else is just like. Most of the elves have this very kind of stoic, formal, orderly presentation. Kelowna is much more light and airy off the bat. As the song kind of comes to an end, half you don't really know what you're doing, so it kind of peters out and continues a bit past where it should have ended. But eventually it does. So, should we, I suppose, head back? Thank you so much, Kaithil, for helping. Oh, sorry. Should I? No. Yes, please do. And begins to cast Sending and sends a message toward Tiestra. Tiestra, family and friends have arrived. Could we please come, please? Thank you. Oh my god. It's like, you guys in the chat are just like hearing this and imagining the beautiful song and stuff. This is what I'm dealing with in the Roll20 chat.
I'm not even in it right now. I don't know what's happening. Okay, hit that dangly thing right in the back of my throat. I dare you do that.
Hit that dangly thing right in the back of my throat.
Okay,
From the
okay.
top, make it drop mammal meat in a pot.
I love it. You're reading it like a fucking PE teacher finding like a fucking note, be like, is that what you?
A wet ass P word.
What is that supposed to mean? I don't understand.
Elves are elegant and stoic, and it's a really immersive fantasy experience.
Why don't none of you want to learn?
The way you guys have described it, it reminds me of there was a girl who did a cover of WAP, but as Celine Dion.
Celine
And that's
Dion.
kind of-
I know.
I know that cover.
Celine Dion.
I'm very sorry, everybody.
Oh my god.
We were warned.
Jordan.
We were warned.
We were warned.
Jordan started it. Jordan started it.
Look, Andrew, for first, be proud of me. I am totally in the game. Like, I'm not even on it. Like, I'm looking at my OBS. That's it.
I know you, Alex. I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
I'm very happy
that's
about
it.
it.
Suck it, others. You can suck it.
You know what, guys? Alex wins D&D tonight.
Yay! You can. Yeah.
So, as Kelowna finishes casting this sending spell, giving warning of your arrival, she links arms with you, Hope, immediately.
I want to hold her handy. Can we hold her?
She'll link your arm and hold it. And it's like the mid fist pump.
But you nerds aren't holding your mum's hands.
Kind of fucking rude. I have three dads.
Sounds kind of fucking gay, bro.
You are led by Typhoon, who leads on, stays kind of almost level with the rest of you, and kind of courteously asks, "So, where have you all come from? You're the soul guy." The name rings a bell, and like kind of asks very kind of like small talky questions. And I feel like there's nothing you can answer with that doesn't make them go, "Oh."
Yeah.
I would put Maple as like, I came from the big temple.
Directly from the big temple. She was
From there.
actually she was
I came
born
up-
there yesterday.
I came out of a rock in the big temple.
Yeah.
Ah,
Same. Yeah. And Nute, same thing. He kind of came out of like our manor's ground. Like boom. Everyone is a bit.
You make it sound like we buried him and he like clawed his way out of the ground.
I'd like to clarify that was the second time I was brought back to life. The first time was in a robot somewhere.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that we are like purposefully trying to confuse him. Yeah. But maybe you've known us from our fight against Ivrenthar, the Great and Tall. That's gonna stick. I look at the others. It's gonna stick. I don't care. It's gonna stick.
Hope breaks off whatever she's currently saying to her mum and looks over her shoulder and like.
We're just having fun with the guy.
Yeah.
The great untold.
He like. There's the occasional moment where he like leans in like to seriously like asks to elaborate on something, and occasionally he's like, "Wait, you're fucking with me."
Yeah.
But like. Like the faintest hint of a smile cracks at the corner of their mouth. And they're like, you're like that, are you? Like, is
trying to say?
that mix between like trying to be like, "Oh, I'm still serious. I'm a teacher. I'm holding."
Haha, the youth.
But eventually. Oh God.
The youth.
Yeah, he's kind of old. I'm not sure how old Elfie year-wise.
No, but you know he made us understood how old he was.
Yeah. He's an elf boomer.
I mean, technically Maple is like 1 day old.
Yeah.
Do you think I was born yesterday?
Yes.
But
Actually, that's actually a good point. I was.
Eventually, this procession of now
Fucking
reunited,
idiots.
surrounded still in beautiful dancing light butterflies and glowing golden orbs, illuminating this path through this like strange jade forest. you begin to notice that within the patterns of the bark, within like the lines that pull up those natural shapes and the dark and white swirls that occur in jade, there are almost glyphs. You begin to notice, Hope especially, there are draconic runes in the actual like bark of the trees. But eventually you are led up a slight incline, and what would be a thick, denser copse of trees has been sung into the closest thing to a manor house that you've seen so far. It's still like a main section building with a couple floors and balconies, branches that splay outwards to kind of connect like three houses that are built and woven of this solid jade. And you are led up the steps to this space. You see glowing golden flickering firelight kind of glowing from within the home. You smell the wood smoke. And as you enter, you are welcomed into this kind of large, like open plan sitting room. So there's like an open like living room space with a large fireplace. To one side, it opens out into a kitchen and dining area. It's like it's quite nice. Like there's a mezzanine above, and that's like a chandelier that comes down of kind of twisted gold and dark grey metal, with kind of glowing lights that flicker from like candles stuck in this large chandelier. Sat at one of these, sat in an armchair, you see the first like old elf that you've had a proper look at, illuminated by like the glowing kind of orangish yellow from the candlelight and the flickering flames. Deep olive skin, silvered grey hair, tied up like half up into a lazy bun hanging at the back of the head, the rest flowing down the shoulders. Exposed, oddly muscular arms, exposing like twisting black tattoos that spiral around with slight flecks almost of shimmering ruby. Kind of across the shoulders, they have this kind of many-layered, elaborate poncho of leafy green, which blends into their kind of dark olive skin tone. They're sitting on this like armchair facing the fire, and as you enter, they kind of raise a hand. Oh, well, thanks for the warning that we're having guests. And they kind of come up to a stand. Welcome all to the home. I'm Diestra. This is my family's home. Please, come and make yourselves comfortable. And this like elderly elf stands, and they're like 5'10". So like they walk over toward you. Although their skin and the occasional wrinkle shows a bit of the age and the silver and graying hair, they move with ease and grace that does not betray any frailment. They come up to each of you, and seeing you, Hope, on Kelowna's arm, immediately grasps your hand. Well, I don't think I need to really inquire what this relationship is. Wonderful to have another member of the family here, of the Oran household. You're always welcome here, in the Narotrea. The rest of you, please come in. Let's have some tea. And they kind of
Thank you.
like there's a slight hunch to them as they kind of turn their back and head towards the kitchen side and begin making some tea.
Okay, what was this owl's name again?
I shall put it in the chat. It's Tiestra.
Tiestra.
Yeah.
T Estra Tra. Tiestra
So many
Tra.
A's.
Yeah. But that's the that's the that's
it's
the
I missed the N. Na or Treya.
that's the master of the house, the
yes.
oldest. Yeah.
Kaithwil kind of gives us a slight bow. Thank you, mother. Is Scylla around? Yes, he'll be in soon. And as he says that, as this kind of darker skinned, the singing teacher reveals that this Chester is their parent, and they kind of set about helping them. A young elf comes down like a spiraling stairs from the mezzanine. We've got guests. Perfect. Hi everyone. I'm Scylla. He kind of like leaps, like vaults over a couch, all of you like throws forward a hand to like shake each of yours and kind of like shakes one hand onto the next. Hi, Sylvan Ti'rel at your service. If I can do anything for you, you please let me know. I'm at the service of the Lady Tiestra. So.
Sorry, what? What's your surname?
Ti'rel.
I just kind of look at like everybody.
Is that second like, wait, what?
You're making the acquaintance of Hemlock Ti'rel. I believe you two should have a conversation.
Ah, right, yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know a Hemlock Ti'rel.
No, I don't know what I.
Awkward.
Well, you're about to meet one.
Hi.
Actually, he actually met her.
And he like comes back. He's already shaken your hand. He comes back to like he offers his hand again.
Yeah, I'll take it. Do you know an Asen Ti'rel?
I've heard of an Uncle Asen that left and never came back. You heard of Aurelin?
No, I can't say that I have. Asen is my father.
He like glances over toward the kitchen where both Tiestra and Kaithul have both like absolutely noticed that I'm not hiding it at all.
Yeah.
I'm peeking around the door.
Kalana is like still holding Hope's hand, is like
Fuck yeah.
Elves love drama. That's where Hope gets it from.
For physicality, Sylvan is this. He looks young for an elf. He is a full-blooded elf. He has dark brown skin, that kind of the golden eyes. His got like curling black hair that bounces down past his shoulders. One of the things that like takes you just how young. Almost every elf that you've seen is adorned with some tattoos or jewelry and piercings, and he doesn't appear to have any that you can see. And it's just kind of his wide eyes, which like almost solid gold, but almost in the young elf way, there is still visible kind of almost a hazel brown eye kind of beneath the sheen of gold. Well, this is really cool. I guess that makes us cousins.
Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't know I had any cousins.
I didn't know I had any cousins that were less than a century.
Yeah, I'm.
If you're less than a century, sorry. I don't mean to presume.
No, I am. I'm 20.
Oh shit! I'm 19.
Oh, okay.
Cool. And he like looks back to the rest of you. Sorry. T.
Yes.
Cool. And he like heads over toward the kitchen to like help with the tea and stuff, and like gestures for all of you guys to like make yourselves comfortable among there's endless varieties of chaises and couches and chairs and stuff.
Long.
And, like look back to everyone like.
I'm gonna do a double thumbs up, like
Yeah, we.
no!
I mean, it's great. Family, cousins, just gets bigger. It's positive.
I mean,
Question mark?
yes.
Yeah.
I didn't. I don't quite know how to take this.
Understandable. I mean, it's not
It
every
helps.
day
You
you.
have literally met more of your elf family members than I have. So, take the win.
Yes, I suppose that's true. I didn't know I had them. I suppose I need to speak to my dad. Oh.
Daddy.
You reckon the rest of us have cousins just kind of hiding somewhere?
Maybe. You know what?
Maybe.
Nute, it might actually be true. Like, just maybe we should ask like every guy we see if their surname is like the same
What's
as
your
ours.
family name?
Alright,
Yeah,
sure,
dude.
you start.
Okay. Is there like a random waiter somewhere, or
No,
like a
you
random?
two, come on. This is so exciting for Hemlock. A cousin. He's
incredible.
basically your age. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean,
Ooh.
19 years old elf, not something that you see every
You
day.
seem very stressed. It is very weird. This is all very weird. I
Yes.
agree. It is very weird, but You can learn about the things your father never told you, you know. They say he ran away, so, you know.
And
Yeah, that's
You've got a
what.
whole family you can potentially
I mean,
learn about.
it's just positive though, Hemlock. I mean, yesterday you didn't have any cousin that you knew of, and today you have one. Whether it's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a plus, is there?
Yeah,
You know.
I'm just. I can't.
I think the only negative here is that Hemlock was unprepared for the revelation.
Yeah.
I see. Yes.
And
You
also,
want to be
like, what-
prepared for new
Yeah, like what
That's
am I
true.
gonna like? I call up my dad. I'm like, "Hi, Dad. I went to Naratos. I have a cousin."
Yes, that's exactly what you say.
That's
That's
yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Genuinely put that on a piece of paper and send it off.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Hope on this one. That doesn't seem to me. Yep,
I'm confused.
understandable.
Okay.
I thought you were Hemlock.
I will
I'm
kick you
that
in the chin.
too. I'm that too, Nute.
The older elf comes up with holding this comes towards you, and floating behind at their side is a tray of DM things holding.
Elves have just learned to not hold things ever. Everything floats.
If Nute doesn't take the initiative to, I immediately pour Hemlock a cup of tea and slam it into her hands. Like, it needs a cuppa right now.
Bitch needs a cuppa. We need a t-shirt.
The Tiestra kind of still with that slight hunch to one shoulder, rubs her hands together slightly. Well, figuring out puzzles can be a great bonding activity. So let's figure out this knot, shall we?
Puzzles.
That
let's
is
standing in the doorway. Let's
so
sit.
cute.
Welcome to my home. Let's figure whatever this is out.
Yeah. I'd appreciate that.
And it's it looks across each of you, and you see her eyes are those old lady eyes that see everything. And looks like you've had a bit of a long journey.
A couple
Yeah.
hours, really.
I mean,
I was thinking more along
actually, it was
the
pretty
whole thing.
instant.
Sorry, my
Actually,
bad.
it was pretty instant from the Earth plane to here. It wasn't
Anyone
that
with a
long.
high enough passive perception notices Hemlock putting something into her tea and then drinking it.
No,
Probably
no, don't.
Hope immediately flaps her hands at the gang and is like, "I'm so sorry about them. They are lovely. They just have no manners. Please, yes, we would love to share tea
Of
and
course.
talk about families with you and help figure out this little knot, as you called it."
perfect. All right, and she down into an armchair. And I think that as you'll sit down to have tea with your mum and the teacher and the teacher's mum and your cousin, is where we'll end tonight's session.
What a weird situation.
That is. It doesn't happen every day. To be fair, you know. You. Well.
So,
Positive
With-
vibes. Positive vibes.
we could hopefully, hopefully nothing terrible.
No.
Or is it? We'll get to that next
Hap.
week. Maybe not. Maybe. Spoilers. I'm not.
I was gonna say the cousins in a crime gang, and then I remembered that Hemlock was a pirate. For
I'm
once.
a
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, that doesn't even make. That would just be cool. Like,
You're a pirate.
I am a pirate.
And Nute's a pirate.
yeah,
And
right. I was
I'm
like,
a pirate. My
that was
boyfriend's a
cool.
pirate. My dad and his partner are a pirate.
Also,
My
that,
brother's
yeah.
also a pirate.
Yeah, it's one of my best friends is a pirate. Like,
Yeah.
We're all pirates here.
we're all pirates.
We're all pirates here.
We're all pirates here. Perfect. So, with that, thank you everyone so much for joining us here at Chasing Tales for this next here leg of the Adventures of the Silver Sea. I know the title now, guys.
Impressive.
We will be back here next Thursday from same time, 6:30 onwards to continue this adventure. But between now and then, a couple of little bits before we get to all the crazy stuff that we're up to. If you want to do before that, a recurring thank you at the end of our show for the Cognitive Merchant, wonderful purveyors of handmade leather and vegan leather, dice bags, dice trays, dice cups, lark gear, armor, wizard hats? Question mark. It doesn't have to be a question mark if you check out their stock at thecognitive@merchant.co.uk. You find their links to their socials and their Etsy store. Go give them some attention and love because look at that cool shit. You need that.
Thank you so much for cheering bits as well, Lee. We love you.
Thank you, Lee.
Yeah, we do.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
buddy.
Thank you, everyone that has come here, who has been with us so far, that has joined us for the first time tonight. Meg,
Yes.
stuff, things. Do we want to do the full everything, or do you take
I'll do a version of the things.
Do the things.
So it's Thursday. We play D&D on a Thursday. You know that.
we do?
On Sunday,
Fuck,
we'll be
I thought that was-
continuing with our
Check.
Cyberpunk Red consistent campaign.
Damn,
There's some
yes.
dramatic shit going on as always. That campaign is wild, guys. You should really tune in on a Sunday. It gets crazy.
Apparently, Meg, there is like.
We're gonna be probably selling stuff in the night market.
Oh, I need to go for surgery. I got shot in the hand.
Oh, yeah, you also
My
got.
hand got like
You
shot
also need
off.
surgery. Oh no, you had surgery.
Oh yeah, I had it right at the end. I'm alright. Anyway,
Well,
my hand got shot off.
surgery,
That's the kind of
recovery,
shit that
and
happened.
selling things in markets. There you go. You truly never know what's going to happen in Cyber City. So that's at 5 p.m. on Sundays. And then we won't be doing a mini Arg Monday next week because we did one this week. But as always, you can find various people, mostly Prue and Rowan and Andrew, over on Witch and Craft on a Tuesday and or a Wednesday for
It's Rogue Trader's a Sunday now, isn't
Sunday.
it?
Yes, it is. Ignore me. Yeah, so Rogue Trader, you can watch that after Cyberpunk. Just an evening of Cyberpunk things. Then
Perfect evening.
Ravnica is on a Wednesday. And then I believe tomorrow Prue is also going back to Chult over
Yeah,
on
if you want to see dinosaurs and me maybe die, come hang out.
that one is also very fun. Can recommend.
It's a very rules moderate by the book one. If you want to see an adventure done like an adventure.
By the book.
Like from the adventure book, all the maps, all of the like pre-built encounters.
Yes.
Yes, Jordan.
Yeah,
Do you want to go on, Jordan?
My brain was going somewhere with that. And then
Yeah.
it stopped.
All the NPCs.
Yes, the maps.
Look, there was a train track being built, and I ran out of tracks.
Yeah, we saw. We noticed.
I thought you were doing a bit, but then I realised you weren't. Like, just Jordan to be like, yeah, all the maps, all those
I swear I had
surrounding
something good in my head.
And
don't know where it's
what
gone. I'll
else?
let you know if it comes back.
But yeah, Chult is fun, so go watch that. And I think that's pretty much everything we've got for the upcoming week. Yes, just come and join us. If you want to see it all, just follow us on Twitter. That's where we do it all.
That's true.
And if you
I
are
posted
new,
pictures of frogs today. We do that frequently.
there's like I'm kind of terrified because April is terrifying to me because we have a
April
whole lot of
is.
things coming up. Like so both Mini Up Monday is coming up in April, which is the 5th and 19th. We are running a Tales of Xadia 2-shot thing with some amazing guests from the Fourth Culture, from Back with the Bastards, from That One Fun, from Chasing Tails.
What? Who are those
Oh, you
people?
were just gonna be like some amazing guests, and Jordan.
No.
No.
Which we're super excited for. And there's also an upcoming 2-shot with some amazing guests from across the pond, including TJ Storm, Hope Lavelle, and Jay Coates, and Megan, Hunter-Powell, and Alicia Marie.
Yeah, but the most important, I'd like to be honest, the most important is Meggie.
It's Megan.
Yeah,
Megan.
yeah.
I don't really care about.
If you want to
Storm
come and watch
person.
me play a Blade Singer,
I'm sorry if you're in the chat.
Ooh, nice.
No, April is stupid for the amount of content coming out here on Tales and Tales. So
Yeah,
if you
we
are
must
new
be
to us, follow us. Get that finger on the pulse because some shit's coming your way across the board.
Yeah.
Any last comments before we decide on someone to raid? Question mark?
No.
Join our Discord.
Join the Discord.
Yeah.
Follow
uh,
us on Twitter.
Hey, I've been doing a guest appearance. Hope won't be around anymore, everyone. Just
Oh,
as
yeah, this was
just
the
as like a
last one.
disclaimer to
It'd be
you,
lovely having you
audience.
here, Prue.
Wait,
case
wait.
you weren't aware of that.
Quickly. Hope Art. Hope Art is now
Thank-
up. Just
Yeah,
because.
thank you for being here, Prue.
Yeah,
No
it's
worries.
pretty.
No worries. I really like hanging out with you. You're my friends, and I love you.
I mean, it's like as if we should start like a channel where we play TTRPGs together, right? Prue, we should do
Yeah,
that.
Nurture.
Alex, play on a mini arc Monday challenge. You know.
Yeah, I did it twice.
You
You can't
You
just
played
do me,
on-
Jordan, and Pearl all the
Actually,
time,
I did it
okay?
like 3 or 4 times. I did 4
You played
times.
on my mini arc. You played on my.
Yeah. I
my
played on
Monster mini arc.
Proopy's one
We
twice.
became boyfriends on Rowan's mini arc, so that was pretty good.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
did.
it's
We did. That we did.
But
That was
you
great.
missed Pig
Ah.
Wedding, which was
Ping on my thing. Yeah.
incredible.
Anyway,
Sorry, enough about me derailing a goodbye.
And
I
being
feel like
sad
we should
'cause
say
I'm not-
goodbye. I just thought I should warn you that
Yeah.
we'll be back to the usual cast next.
Yes.
yes. And last comment.
Chaotic Lawful are streaming, if we want to raid.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering if we would maybe raid Balrog 1911 because she was
Balrog.
on our
Let's raid
LGBT
Diane.
game. It's
Oh,
Diane.
yeah.
Balrog, is there any cap?
It's okay, I got you.
Okay.
I'm doing it. I'm sending
You
it
are
to
even
you.
every time Alex is
So,
streaming.
just so everybody knows, Diane is a super cool Norwegian trans woman who makes TTRPGs, plays lots of TTRPGs, and played with us on a random one shot I pulled out my ass on Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday.
Yeah, and it was really fun.
She is absolutely wonderful
She's really
and
nice.
really, really funny. Go give her some love. She's great.
And we will fly off into the ether. Woohoo!
Wow.
Last minute hydrate from Tal there.
Oh god, yes.
Final hydrate.
The apple juice.
Jordan drinking it like fucking. Let's go.
I clicked right now when you're in the middle of the. So
All right.
Some people will have caught that. Some people will have not.
I'll put the post stream credits and